morning, traders. What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? I have no idea why the heck it tries to put this thing up here. This is definitely a lovely error. All right, let's keep it going, guys. Welcome to it. It's Trade the Pool. I'm ready to go ahead and continue making money. Had a great day yesterday, guys. Honestly, it doesn't get any better than yesterday, guys. I went 2 for 2, well, actually 3 for 3 in the swing account. Had an over $500 day with a max loss of $300 on that account. Really, really good day, right? So other than that, of course, a day trade. Couldn't do it better either. Also, green day, really great trades that guys. One of them brought to you guys in the chat. You guys started mentioning Grab. What a trade that was. So we got a lot to get into. Of course, yes, Michael Noss will be out also today. I will be by myself. So what does that mean? That means just focus on the trading, guys. So you guys will see me focused on the trading and getting after it and ready to make money. So start that countdown. Let's get right to the show. We got a lot to take a look at. And boy, oh boy, another day where, hey, there's some trade setups. But I think today it might be, hint, hint, a red day? What? Let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. Trade the pool. Wants 200, baby. You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. What up out there, traders? How are we doing? Who's ready to get into the action? I'm ready to start the show and look for some good old-fashioned money. If you guys are talking out there and looking for some trades, let's go ahead. Let's bring them up, and I will share my screen. I do need to get one more account ready here. Got to get my day trading account up here. I had the swing open already. Guys, we need to talk about the swing account, and we're going to do that with the hub here. If you guys don't use your hub already, you guys are missing out, of course. Definitely use your hub. It's going to give you the ability of really looking into some easy statistics. So if you're not using already kind of a journaling program, you'll already have that also, right? So I'm going to get this account opened up, but we'll talk all about different trades. I got so many ideas, guys. This came over from Trader TV. Of course, that's where I start my day on Tuesdays. And if you guys haven't gone over there once or before, guys, get on over there, right? So, of course, here we go. Let's get this account opened up, and then we can talk all about the swing account. This is one that I've been battling with for a long time, traders. We'll talk a little bit about it, and I think this is important because the idea is to battle sometimes with the account and to keep on battling, right? I think that one of the awesome things that we did is really by going with, of course, and you guys saw us change. We went to a flex and max version, right? The flex and max version really gives you the benefits, guys. The benefits of doing what? Just continuing to trade. So if you're a decent trader, you should be able to continue to doing what? Battling. Battling is what we need to be able to do at first to show that we're ready to get towards the what? The profitability stage where we're all trying to get to, right? Everyone's here is trying to make money. The truth is some of us will and some of us won't. Well, I want to be in the pool that does. So how do we do that? We focus in and we start to look at what? Well, we need to focus in on first just surviving, right? Not trying to blow through the E valve, because I think that too many traders try to do that. They blow through an E valve and then they don't want to go for the next one, right? Well, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to also be here, right? We're going to trade, but we're looking for a goal, and we have to have that focus. And with that focus, there's going to be ups and down swings, right? So you got to continue the battle, right? It's not just going to be just one way, right? And so I will say that the day trade accounts, the smaller ones have done me better, and I've struggled to get one of those bigger day trade accounts, right? But the swing trade account, I have a feeling that once I get this, we're going to be looking really good because I can find consistency in the swing account. And what does that How do you know that? Well, you look at kind of the profits and you look at the kind of the back and forth, right? What are the statistics telling us? So let's go towards mine here and let's look a little deeper to take a look here at some of my action here. You guys see that I'm getting closer and closer now at 1261, right? From the 1500 target. We're close and close, guys. This is really a new high here on the graph. So we're definitely moving up. But look when I opened this, guys. I opened this on June 2nd. I think maybe even June 1st, but let's just say June 2nd just to talk about it, right? So it's been quite a while now, right? We're in September, right? So I've had this for a good amount of time, guys. So like over 3 months, and it's tells me more and more that my risk ratio is really in a nice sweet spot. Success rate around the area where I expect it, right? Especially for the swing trade and kind of riding these bigger trades, right? Well, yesterday was definitely a good day indeed, guys. We can talk a little bit about it, right? You guys can see here a couple of wins here, a nice 301 win, a 78 win. This was really the only loss that kind of put me back once yesterday. But it took this, win here on DraftKings, the second win on DraftKings. But there you go, FLNC, nice win, 98, 86. And you can see I'm going to take losses from time to time. I took a loss on DraftKings on the first trade, 107. And then I went right back after it at the end of the day and really kind of nailed it down, right? So there's always going to be that back and forth. I think it's very important to look at things like this, like the advanced statistics area also. If we take a look a little bit deeper into the advanced statistics, you can really get a lot of things out of here. 249 trades, 60 profitable, right? Longs and shorts, right? Where are we winning, right? Well, that's a good question to ask yourself. Profit factor and things like this. But I really like looking more into things like this, right? So the biggest loss, 309. That is definitely too big. Biggest win, 668. That's a little bit too big on the upside, right? Like that's pushing it, right? So we got to continue to see what happens out there to see if we can get there. But looking good, guys. And if we get to the profits, we'll be looking really, really good on this, guys. All right, guys, we'll definitely take a look a little bit deeper. But as you can see, the average profit and average loss still in a nice profit to loss ratio. This is probably the number one thing that I think you should look at to see how you're trading, and maybe getting closer to these and trying to repeat these is the way to go about it. Of course, expansion above profit is always going to help, and keeping the losses below this is going to help. But this is pretty much where my max loss should be always, and I should always try to take above that 180. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the outlook into the dashboard. I hope you guys appreciate me going through things like that, because I think it really shows you guys how the approach goes, right? It is a battle, and we'll see what's going on. Let's go to trade ideas today. First up on the playbook, I got plenty to talk about, so we'll go and you guys get to see the inside work of the notes, so I'm looking at the notes right now, and I'm trying to kind of give you guys the best outlook for the day right now, guys. So there's a lot that I'll be taking a look at, right? I like trades like RCAT and UMAC here. RCAT has pulled back now. If we are going to get a long day, this looks great for it to pull back towards the 970s, hit that, and then go right back to the upside. Ooh, running more than 100 alerts. It looks like I'm going to need to fix some of my alerts. So I need an alert console. I need to kind of take some of these off, right? So I got too many alerts on. Time to delete some of these, but I'll worry about that later. Looks like I got to delete some of those, especially some of these older ones. Like I could care less about this NIO or this carrier one. I can set those up on some other platform. But the good thing is we don't have right now. I can set those alerts also on just the platform itself, right? So RCAT is definitely a trade that I'll be watching to see if it goes back towards the 970s and then starts to come up higher. Another thing that I look for is 3 down moves, right? Up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3. You're looking for the down 3 attempt to create a new support and then come back up through 10. That's going to be the alert also on the upside. So when it comes back through 10 is a level that I'll be watching on RCAT, but it needs to create a new support down there towards, it can't undercut the 925, but somewhere between this area. It doesn't need to be 970. 970 is just a rough estimate for me. UMAC is another one that looks exactly like this. It's in the industry, right? Looking really well. This actually held really well, the 1040s. This one I'm looking for more of a gap and go where it just starts to kind of push up this morning and it just goes. Right? So it's pushing already. I'm looking for it to take the 11 right out the gates and not look back. We'll see what happens there on UMAC. It could even do it in the pre-market. But that's upside outlook. If we're looking for downside outlook, I got a couple of names to look at also. I could take a look at Open. Open is one that I'm going to really be looking for a short today. So this has been trying to rip higher, and now I'm looking to see if this goes ahead and rejects here. So it's had an up one, down one, up two, down two, up three, down three, could get down three and then get going. But what I'm looking for is for an attempted move back above 10 and then failing here instead of getting that continued upside. So there's two ways. Either it pushes to 10 and fails, so it gives us a kind of a bull trap above 10, maybe even gets towards 1025, but then immediately back down through the open. And the open is going to be the important area to kind of target, not necessarily the trend line. So what I'd look for is, let's say it opens up right at 992 as it goes back to 1025. When it cuts 992, I'm going to look to risk off of that high in that candle and then look for a real takedown back there towards like $9, right? That's kind of the area where I could see this going back to. Maybe even $8.50s and $8 available to us today. So, hey, this is going to be back and forth. Of course, this one has interest rates that could be affected by, of course, Wednesday's meeting, FOMC tomorrow. We'll get the big bad wolf to come on in here and cut rates. So we'll see what happens on that. Let's keep taking a look into the market and what else we can take a look at. What about my FLNC trade that I just rinse and repeat? And guess what, guys? I will look to do the same thing again, as this one has really made a lot of the swing, and I love the vehicle, guys, and I trade it well. Why? Because it's very symmetrical. Look at the trend line. Now we've really broken out of the trend line yesterday, which was kind of a really nice look. Now we can run into this resistance, this 760. So we got to be a little bit alert about that 760. But if we can break that and really get back towards a breakout range, this is one name that I don't want to lose sight of. And another thing to keep in mind, I've talked about how with Bloom Energy, if that can stay hot, so can FLNC. Bloom Energy has been the name to beat. And guys, this thing just continues to rip higher and higher. I got to tell you, this is one name that I called at 35, but did not take the trade because I was looking for a pullback to the 50 EMA. Never got it. It just stayed strong. And this is one name that I will say is a miss for me. Like, even though I saw it there, it's a miss, but I'm looking for it to see what happens. Does it just continue to just kick some major? All right, we'll take a look around out there. Let's go to another trade here. What about Lemonade? I've talked about this trade setup, and look how it continued yesterday. It was a beautiful flag. Looking at it, even when it was in the flag on Friday, I was telling Michael Noss, I was like, this is boring, but it's sexy, man. This has a feeling that it's going to make a nice little rip out. It did a 15% move, and now continuing. So Lemonade, really nice looking trade. It isn't the sexiest trade, but somebody get me some Lemonade, because this is looking really good, man. This is your Chick-fil-A lemonade. This isn't some of that cheap stuff out there. We'll see what happens there, man. Looks good. Nice pattern. Now you got to be careful for a little bit of some pullback, maybe back towards 56, but it's a good looking chart. All right, let's go looking at another short trade potentially. Tesla on the short side. Yes, you heard that right. Money Mitch thinking about going after the dragon. But the thing about the dragon is that I talked about a 400 move potentially to make a big rip. Now we've made that big rip. When we're going sideways here and struggling above 400, tells me that we might go back and test that level. I think it's an important psychological level to come back and retest. So today could be that day. So it's going to be real quick if it probably does it. I'm looking for an attempted move back to 418, 419 here, and then to see a fail. But if it just tanks out the gates, I wouldn't be surprised either. I will play this one, and if I do play it, it's probably going to be with TSLL, but it's definitely one to keep on the radar here. So Tesla, let's see what happens today, man. All right, let's go after this dragon. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. We can take a look at Intel. Intel, of course. Intel is one name that I can look at for upside action if we're going to continue with the upside, right? So we'll see what happens. This could pull back to 2460 first. But what I'm looking for is a breakout back above 25 and then clearing 26. It needs to actually clear yesterday's action, which is 25.46, and really make a move towards this level right here, this 25.88 to 26. That's what I want to see. I want to see a big bar created here. And if that creates that big bar, yes, breakout in Intel, and watch out. The non-sexy name is getting sexy. All right, and then we'll see what happens on some other names to look at. Of course, something to look at. Snow is one that I'll be watching. Snow is one that I'm looking to see if it starts to make another move higher. It's made, of course, this big push, has been sideways here, but really creating support. So one thing I'd look at is, do they undercut it and rally, right? They always like to scare us before they send it. We'll see what happens. Do they scare it here and send it? That's what I'm going to be looking for in Snowflake. That's a move back, let's say, back through 226, 228s. Doesn't look bad there, guys. Of course, quantum names have been super hot. We can go through and fly through some of that. IonQ at 926 right now, so let's just keep flying. IonQ's been really hot. I'm looking for this name to actually potentially make another bar higher, and with that, I would look to ride the momentum with QUBT or QBTS, right? So we'll see what happens if these can continue high and flying high. RGTI, of course, Rigetti already making a huge move. I think this one might be a little bit of a move, but it's not as one that I would like to chase. I would like to go more for a QUBT that's pulled back. Got a lot of volume through that 16-day where I tried to trade it. So we'll see what happens now. Does it go and break right through the 1750 and continue towards 18 on a big breakout? All right, we'll see what happens there on QUBT. Definitely got to watch, of course, open. It's going to have some alerts on both sides there through 10, through 970. That's one of my really kind of opening trades to look at. We'll see what happens out there. Let's get after it, traders. And what are you guys looking at? We got about 2 minutes for the bell here. What's going on out there, traders? All right, good morning. Good morning. How we doing out there? It's good to see you guys. I'm seeing some names. Alex coming in hot. What's up, Alex? How we doing? You came in with Grab yesterday. We got a quick Grab right back on the list. But what do you got for me today? ANGX and KLAR look similar. I like it. Let's take a look there. ANGX. All right, Angels Studio. We'll look at the daily chart. It doesn't look bad, at least, to take a look at it. We'll see if it breaks 20. That's really the look on that one. Is that a new IPO? Let me know on that. I'm pretty sure that's a new IPO, but I just don't know about this one. I'm going to put a 1950 alert there for us to let me know when it starts to break out above that. If you guys see one and you're seeing it move, holler at me, guys. I'll be looking for it. I'll be trying to trade it, and maybe be able to give you guys some levels in between that. We'll keep it going. I'm ready to get to the trading action. It's going to be another fun day here at Trade the Pool. Let me know what you guys are at in your account. Are you guys killing it? Way too low volume, but maybe we look at the other one, KLR. Of course, Karna. I actually tried to call this bottoming on Friday, guys. So on Friday, I tried to call this bottom, and it eventually came back right at like kind of the end, right? So this came back like at 4 p.m. And of course, Monday, it just gets hot. I was calling for this to start going to the upside. And I talked about how Affirm would go with it. And Affirm's been ripping. So if Karna's going to run, Affirm is the name that I like also to continue to run. I trade Affirm with that KLAR, Alex Fernandez. So these trade similar. And it's also going to help SoFi and Upstart. So Upstart's the other one that hasn't gone that maybe you catch as it starts to run today. So those are names that I'd keep on the radar. Affirm, Upstart, definitely on the radar. And I'll put some alerts on Affirm there. I'll put some alerts on Upstart for us. And we can even put some alerts on KLAR to let us know when that's starting to rip higher. I'd look for KLAR to go back to 45 and then back through 47 on the upside. Let's keep it going. It's good to see you guys. Vicky Vic, what's up out there, man? How we doing? Talky Talk. Oh, good Lord. These messages take a little while to get up there, but the market's open, guys. I wish I could talk to a little bit more to you guys out there. We'll keep going through. I'm sorry that I'm by myself. I know it's a little bit harder for me to catch everything, but yeah, USAR, you called it well yesterday, Adrian. I was trading UUUU and didn't trade it the best yesterday, man. That thing eventually ripped higher as it kind of cut me out of the trade and then just completely ripped in the afternoon, guys. This ripped at 2:30. It ripped for 10%, but good call on that USAR. We were on top of that, Adrian. Together, we do this as a team, and that's what I love the most. Jemiah, mentioned by D-Factor. That's a name that I didn't expect to hear, and it has been ripping. What is going on in Jemiah? That looks like a short squeeze to me. I haven't heard about anything that's going on in Jemiah, but hey, keep your eyes on that, guys. We will see what happens there. All right, going to open. Let's go take a look at open to see what's going on in open here today. All right, guys, open right out the gates there. Kapow, kapow, goes open. Man, we missed this opening. Just straight getting smacked this open right here. That's exactly the move that I talked about this morning. Looking for it to get hit really quickly out the gates, and there she goes. So now I'm looking for a VWAP fade, which is a move to 965s. I need a little bounce here to get short some open. Let's see if I can get it if it comes back here, guys. But wow, wow, wow. Was Money Mitch right again on open? Good job there. As we talked about it on Trader TV, also exactly looking for this move. And there she goes. Kapow, kapow, kapow. That's going to tell me, I'm really looking to see if some other ones start to get hit too, like OPAD and things like that. I'm looking for open to bounce there. Let's see if it bounces. Ooh, Jemiah ripping, guys. That is alert. Good call out there in the chat, man, on that Jemiah chart. I really liked it. I was watching it down here on the bottom. Big rip there towards 1170s. 11. Oh, my God. This thing is moving. Jemiah alert out there. That is a nice little push higher. We'll look to see if this can keep kind of riding higher here. Look how it's just going to push all of a sudden. Boom. It's trading up here towards the 1174s. I'm having some data issues, even on TC, guys. So if you guys see me lag a little bit, let me know what's going on out there. I'm looking for a little bounce here in open. Will we get the open bounce? Let's find out. This is when I wish I had more to trade right now. I have so much that I want to trade, guys. It's kind of hard sometimes. QUBTS starting to go up there. Lemonade looking good here. Got to watch the market too to see if we get some down action here. So we'll see what happens in the market today. Watch out there, guys. Q's looking weak here to start the day, and so is the SPY. I'd like the VXX today as kind of a vehicle that we could trade here to see the market go down and see some seasonality come playing in for the VXX. So I'll keep watch on the VXX and I'll keep watch on some of the market. Jemiah continuing to push, might get into a halt. That thing is so strong. I'd look for a quick micro pullback on that. So I'm looking for a pullback back towards 1120s or 10s. But Jemiah strong out the gates here. Good mention in the chat, man. Shout out to you. MSTU and the Meta trade yesterday was just absolutely killer, guys. Meta, I traded this yesterday and really killed it, but MSTU, we'll look to see if MSTR gets going today. Not a bad one to look at, right? Nice bottoming. Ooh, I like it, Talk. I like it. I actually would look to see if it could attempt to go below 5, but I really like this, guys. I really do. Nice mention, Talk. I really do like this. This might be a swing. All right, alert, another alert. Upstart getting going here, guys. So that's going to be one that I might take a look at here. Upstart having a decent chart to start the day here. Did do that little, I need a little dip here to 67s. 67s to 6680s, and I'll take a little shot there on Upstart as that looks pretty good there. Affirm coming down on the first spike there. Could be an undercut and rally through the 87 spot. Let's see if it goes through 87. It's at 87.33. Open, just continuing to get hit there. Continuing, didn't even come back to VWAP there for me, didn't give me the opportunity. That tells me more and more the shorts have control here, and bow she goes. Get the bounce and I'll take a shot, but right now she's getting whacked. Bam, bam, bam. Down goes open. Wow. All right, guys, there's Upstart pulling back there, giving me an opportunity, but the market's coming down with this. That's the hard part here. I'm going to take a shot here on Upstart, just on the day trade account here, just because I said, like, if I'd get this opportunity, I'd take the shot. Now I don't want to overthink it here. So good looking first entry here. We'll look to see if I get a little bit of an ad here. It's 66, like 70s. I don't mind getting an ad there. Taking a shot off the bottom here. All right, open, just continuing to get hit there. VXX now starting to spike a little bit here. So let's see if we do get the spike in VXX and we get a little bit of a quick lift off. Open, not giving me an opportunity. So I'm just going to leave that one alone here. VXX looks like it's about to spike a little bit here. We'll see what happens there. Overall market, though, being led by energy and technology. So we'll see what happens. Technology is doing really well today. Software application names leading the party there. Let's take a look at what's going on there. CRM is a name that I like here on the long run, just because Oracle doing really well. So CRM above 245s is a good look today. I actually like that on the swing, but the VXX looks like it's about to pop. We'll see what happens. Q's pulling back here. It's kind of hard because I like this Salesforce trade right now, but the SPY and the Qs look pretty heavy right now. So that might actually work out on that. So I did get the day trade there on Upstart. You guys see 200 shares long on Upstart. I'm going to take like a $50 risk on this and just look to see if it just starts to rip higher. But it got 200 shares of Upstart. All right, guys, I'm going to take a little bit of a bet here on the VIX just to see if it just starts to try a quick little spike. But I'm going to do a quick little risk here. I'm just going to risk like 14 bucks back to the 34s here. So I want to see a quick rip down on the market if this is going to work out. CRM still looking good there. Oracle is a name that I like also, with that software names doing well, right? So they could continue to the upside, but definitely not bad names to look at today. And we'll look to see if there's anything that's really standing out in the lead. All right, guys, looking at my list here to see what's leading in the day action. FLNC is leading in the day action. I tell you guys, this stock just loves to rinse and repeat. This stock is almost up there towards 825s and above. What a nice little breakout in FLNC. So FLNC, really good name, guys, that I'm telling you, I love the way it trades. Now I'm looking for an undercut on this one because it just made too big of a nice little pop right out the gates here. It's kind of hard to catch it at the 9 EMA here, but really nice breakout. 760s up there towards 826. That's a 7% move right out the gates here, FLNC. LAC also making a little bit of a break above the $3 spot. I like this name today too. So day trades could be on LAC as this goes higher towards maybe 350s, 360s. It's not going to make a huge move, but it's one to kind of watch here. VXX on the swing starting to do well here. So let's see if this actually just helps out. Like, there's some trades still doing well right now, but hey, that's how it is out there, guys. All right, there's a little spike there in Upstart. Looking pretty good here. Let's see if it just takes off here. There we go. Getting a good move here in Upstart. Now we're up about 74. Let's see if this can really start to take off here and really push. All right, it's starting to push there to the 67.20s here, looking for the next drive, but I am seeing the VIX get a little bit of that spike there. So let's see what happens. I know I'm betting to the downside a little bit and that the market comes down here with this. So there it is, SPY coming down there, Q's coming down. I'm taking a quick shot on the VIX here. I'm even going to add here and look for the nice little break here. Let's see if we can get a nice little breakout here, really quick one here, and just cash in on the swing account. So just trying to continue the swing account in the right direction here. I want to see a little bit more of that action come in real quick here. SPY, though, definitely pulling back there. Not looking as strong here. Upstart pulling back on the day trade there. Let's see what happens there. Still got it right now. The chart still looks good there. All right, seeing a little bit more pullback. The Q's kind of affecting in that. Also not looking that great there. We'll see if it kind of rebounds right back above the 67 spot. There's the VIX. There's a VIX spike there, guys. I'm going to actually add into this. I just added there a little bit there. You guys saw me add there. There's a VIX spike there. So I took a little bit there. Let's see if it just really kind of takes off here. Goes towards like 34.30s, 30, a little bit above that, right? So I just added here and I can go break even and just let this work. Looking for it to continue to work here and make me some money here. So I'm putting a little bit of a risk there just to kind of make it seem like I'm far away from the action, but really trying to stay close behind here. Let's see if this can really kind of push higher here. Now I'm up about $24, so looking for this just to rip higher here and stop break even if I need to. So this is a scalp. This is straight scalping on the swing account just to try to make a little bit of some bucks here. There we go, getting up there. We're getting up there. We can break here. I got 400 shares of it. Let's go. All right, let's see if it breaks out through there and starts to really rock and roll. The upstart trade definitely pulled back a little bit there. Tried to come get me 50 bucks out, and it just bounced there. So we'll see what happens on that one. That's the bottom right trade here. There is a little bit of a spike. Now we're up about 40 bucks here, guys. So I'm more than willing to take the 40 bucks. As soon as this kind of pulls back, I'm going to probably get out here, but I'm just riding up the wave here. Let's see if it can go just a little bit higher. Just a little bit higher. There we go, almost 50 bucks now, guys. Let's see if it breaks the 34.25 here, and then I can just put the stop right there. Take the 50 bucks if needed here. But looking good, guys, looking good here. All right, I'm going to just try to, it just pulled back there. I need to at least get the 34.21s there. There's 22s. Let's see if we can go ahead and just get this to break out here. There's the 24s, 25s. All right, guys, I'm not going to get greedy here. Let's see if we can get... All right, I'm just going to take the money and run. Boom, just took the money and run there, guys. $42 there, guys, on that just quick day trade. Day trade on the swing account. Why am I doing that? Because I'm so close to the target. So I'm just trying to cash that, right? Flush day, I do feel like that talk. I do feel like that talk. And then what tells me that more is the SPY kind of really slowing down on the daily. So you see how it slowed down? So the ATR kind of came really down here. In the last couple of days, it's now down to 4. I'm looking for a real down day where it cuts VWAPs and doesn't look back. Upstart, I'm not feeling it. So I'm tightening down, guys. I'm going to go only $34 of risk now. Open down to $9.16, $9 out the gates. Flush, flush, flush. There she goes. Trader TV, call me later for that one. And you guys, like always, get it first. Yesterday was talking about open. And there she goes, guys. That's a nice opening crack there. That was 8% move down. And just like that, the VXX pulling back, and I had that feeling you're going to get a little bit of that pullback here. So now let's see if Upstart wants to really get going now. Back above 67s could be an add here in Upstart to take the shot above. Let's see if this really starts to rock and roll now. VIX could reload there on the 9 EMA, so I'm just keeping a close eye. The market is struggling out there. Upstart trying to get back above that 67. Really can't get it going, though. So just keeping that in mind, because I might have to just get out on this name. There it goes, already pulling back there. I got the 66.60 out there, and I'm out. There she flushed into the downside. It just seems to me like it's a downside type of day, guys. So even this Affirm, all types of names are going to be starting to look like flushes on the downside. So watch out there. Look at that. HIMS. Oh, yeah, I'm seeing some real quick flush outs today, guys. APLD is actually one name that I'd look at for the short side because this name could really fall today, guys. It's already fallen a pretty good amount, but I might scalp a little bit here if we get a little bit of a bounce here back to the 19s. But definitely Applied Digital just looked like a turnaround trade, right? This is one that I'd play towards like 1750s, the 9 EMA, but definitely running into that today. Tempest pulling back. IonQ is another name that could pull back even further today. So I like that name. There's your VIX jumping again here. I could get back into that, but I'm not going to push it. I did already a really decent job on the swing. I could maybe take a day trade on that from here. But looking at IonQ here for a short, looks pretty good here. Just would like to see a little bit of a bounce, a little bit further of a bounce back towards like 57.80s and then get short off the 58 here. We'll see if we can get that done. There's a little bounce there. We're almost there. We're almost there. We need a little bit more. Come on. Bounce back into the 57.80s and I'll grab you and try to get short on IonQ. All right, looking around out there, what are you guys taking a look at this morning? Oracle mentioned in the chat. Oh, good Lord. Is that why I hope it's not TikTok? Flush day on HIMS. Yeah, they're flushing it. All right, watch for some bounce backs here now. We are getting some bounce backs, so there's could be some opportunities to get short on some names. Microsoft getting hit down a little bit today. There's some other ones that are getting definitely the takedown. Ethereum getting the takedown. Even coin coming down. So Bloom Energy, that could be one to like kind of look for a little bit of a turnaround. There we go. Now we're in the area where I'd like to short IonQ. There we go. We got short IonQ a little bit there, guys. Got 200 shares, which is actually a decent amount here. So let's see if we can get this to kind of come right back down here through the 57. See what happens. Because I was looking at these on the upside if we were going to have an up day, but it just looks like we're already having that down day. So there's a little bit of a bounce here to kind of get after the short. We'll see if it really kind of comes down, breaks down. Really don't want to see it back over 58 here. That's about a $40 risk here. There's a nice pullback there for the VXX. I'd like to see it come back down and actually go to like 33.95s today. And then maybe later in the day, I'll take another trade here on the long on the VXX. But I am seeing opportunity here for a 9 EMA recovery on the 34.15. So that could cause the stocks to come right back down if we could get that move. Let's see what happens there. Bloom Energy also looks good there on the short. I'm trying to short this thing as it's crashing down here. Already down about a point since I talked about it. Since 71 is when I first saw it. So I need a bounce here. But definitely, it's going down fast. There's IonQ into the green there. Lemonade taking a hit there. SMR, Coin, a lot of names just taking the bleeding now. This Pony AI could come all the way right back down. This thing was hot yesterday. There we go, into the green there for IonQ. I like this short on Pony also. Just got to be patient though. It has to get up there like above, like towards like 1680s and then get hit hard. Look for a break of 1672 or a break of 1650s on this pony. Looking at the little names today, AIIO above $2, YSXT as another name that's showing up on my scanner here. You guys can see the scanner to the right-hand side. This one now doing 1, 2, 3 pullbacks on that YSXT. We'll see if it kind of holds in here right around this 330 spot. Maybe one more dip and then rip. But almost up there towards Pony. There's Pony getting up into that spot there if I want to take a shot on the short side. I am seeing some type of bounce in the market, so just got to be a little aware of that, right? Maybe use that opportunity here, but let's see if this really starts to turn right back to the downside. There's a short there on Pony. I just opened it up. Going to hold it tight here early towards like the 1680s. Definitely don't want to see above 1690s. Real quick trade, only 200 shares, but there it goes. Ion Q looking great there, guys. Now we can go ahead and just set a stop above VWAP. Look for this to continue to work here and start to really kind of undercut there. Looking good there on that name, up about 50 bucks there. We'll see if that really continues to break down. A quick turnaround there on Pony, so looking good there. I'll show you guys Pony right now. Pony here, you guys can see how it just started to break right back down below the VWAP. That's what I'm looking for it to kind of hold now. Let's see what happens. There's a VIX spike there, guys. So nice little spike right again here. That's a good look there. So I'm actually going to look to see if the VIX can really start taking off here. Maybe take a little bit of a shot here on the day trade side too. So let's see if we get a little bit more of a spike here. And the Qs just keep crumbling here off the 34. The Qs look like they're a little bit weak there. Pony getting a little bit of a bounce there. So got to stop place at 1680s there, so it's really close right now on Pony. I would rather keep it close and see a quick knockdown on Pony. There we go. Ion Q now up 90 bucks there, guys. Almost 100 bucks there. So looking for that to break the low here and continue to crumble down there. Looking really good here on Ion Q. Watching for the breakdown through the 57. Let's see if we get it. If we don't, I can just go ahead and just cash from here. So let's go ahead and look for the breakdown through. Sorry, guys. Marley's having a nightmare. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's keep going. They're cashed on Ion Q. It just bounced there and caught me there. This is one thing when you put your stop. A lot of times you're going to get that bounce. It's going to come get you. It looks like it's going to flush a little bit more here. I don't even mind getting right back into it there and just taking like a 10-cent risk there. I took like $100 in the green, so there's nothing wrong with actually shorting into this move here and then looking for the move right back down, right? So we'll look to see what happens there. Got a little bit of a bounce more than I wanted to, so I'm going to leave that alone right now. I'm going to go look at Pony to see what happens in Pony and see if we can start to hammer down in Pony, right? So at this point, Pony should turn right back to the downside. So I'm looking for a 1660 breakdown to add another 200 shares in Pony. All right there, guys. Got the ad there for the 1660. If back above the 75s will get me out for a $10 loss on Pony. That's how small I'm trying to keep it on Pony. But I'm not going to show my hand at first. Just going to let it kind of play out here. That's the key, though. When you have a $10 risk, I don't need to go and stress about a stop. What's the worst thing that's going to happen here? I missed 10 cents. Right? It's not going to make too big of a difference here. So I think that's the key there. Sometimes I'm not putting out your stops all the time. So Ion Q starting to come back there. I'll show you guys Pony as it starts to bounce. And I'm going to look in the chat a little bit more for you guys on the trades out there. I know that's kind of hard for me to go back and forth. Reddit. Ooh, book it now. Look at it now, Reddit. I'll take a look at it right now. Hold on, give me a second here. There's a little spike there on that Pony. About to get out of the 1684s. That one is starting to spike. So some traders that wanted to go against me, you could go against me here. There's nothing wrong. That is spiking there, and it could start to take off above the 17. This was spiking yesterday. So Pony looking hot, guys. So if you want to trade that to the upside, not a bad name to look at for the upside. All right, let's take a look around. Let's see what else is being traded there. FLNC there now holding in around 8. This could make another step up there on FLNC. We'll see what happens if we actually get some upside action there. I think this one's kind of done for me today. I kind of missed the opening on this one, so haha. Pun intended. Open, continuing down, down, down she goes, down she goes. All right, guys, there's a pony now to 1687. Still pushing, still pushing. Still could turn around right about these levels, but not going to push it on that one. Rather go back to IonQ that really looked like it wanted to break down and just kind of stood there for a second. All right, IonQ could still get hit here. I'm going to look at IonX. Actually, there's I think a bear. Ion Z to the upside, guys. That looks interesting there for me. I might do this in the swing account here, guys. Undercut and rally time. Let's go. Bring it back to 1620s, and I'll start taking a bet here on Ion Z, which is Ion Q to the downside, but leveraged. Yeah, 2 times short Ion Q, right? So need this to get back into like kind of 616 area. Quick dip back to the 616 and then right back above. That's kind of what I'm looking at. QUBT, taking a look at that. Qs overall really still going down, and so is the VIX looking like it wants to spike here. So VIX looks like it wants to get going. Market's definitely taking the hits here. Got a 10 a.m. number. That could be the move there. The Qs are just dipping there, guys. So we're definitely seeing that fade away right now. FXI pulling back today. That might keep coming back down. Might have VAVA to the short side or maybe a PDD that has been hot. Those actually names are staying hot there in China. That's interesting. SPY still struggling there. SoFi pulling back there. A lot of names pulling back. All the hot names. Even Palantir. Quick dip there on IonQ. We could just start to rip right back up here in IonQ. Oh, I mean right back down, right? But I'm looking at the reverse. All right, well, I'm not getting the VIX here because the VIX is not giving me opportunities, really. I mean, I could go, but there's really not much. There's that quick sweep. There's that quick sweep for recoveries there. So the market could start coming back with a little bit with that, but the VIX is actually going with this move. So I'm trusting more and more that we are going to get a little bounce here, but that we get the takedown right back through these levels. So I like Ion Z here. All right, just grab 200 shares there on the swing. So that would be IonQ short. I'm going to try that in this account. Short some IonQ on the day trade. Short some Ions, long some Ion Z on the swing. Keep it really tight on the day trade. Actually, let's take that off there. All right, let's see if this can get right back up here. So looking for the SPY to come right back down here. We'll see if it actually does. Continued strength in IonQ would probably just get me out on both trades. Definitely double dipping my fingers here. but when we get the turnaround, it should be quick. Giving it these 30 seconds here. There we go, seeing that weakness. There we go. Now seeing the weakness come back in. Now I want to add back through 1620s, and then I can risk like 1610s. I do see someone getting ready in the back. Excited to have my man on in just a little bit here. So your thumbs up. You ready to go, man? Let me know. You know who he is. It's the green team. Start that. Let me see. What do I got here? Coming in with the green team, Kevin. What's going on, man? How
Love
you
the
doing?
introduction, man. Love it. Yeah, doing pretty good this morning. I mean, just got a couple hangovers working
Oh, it's a
right now.
hangover day, dude. With
Yeah, yeah.
all those down action coming in the market, leaking coming in. Where is the hangovers? I want to see some drunks out there. What's going on, Kevin?
Gotta drink them all. Drink those hangovers away. Yeah, good morning, guys. Good morning.
Oh, I want to see
Funny
him. I
show.
want to see him. Tell me, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, just kicking back. There's a couple like little tiny cheap plays. ATCH, I'm working this one. She's going sideways right now, but that dollar's holding up very well. MTVA at the close yesterday in small cap land was a huge play, but all the momentum is on a couple other plays this morning. Turbo, I believe, a few others. APVO.
Mark, cover.
So yeah, it was APVO and then Turb. Turb is the other one. Is the one that all eyes have been on in small cap land. TURB is a million in float ticker, and they had some news, the investment of 30 million or something into that. It's an energy play. So yeah, I like to look at the plays that were hot yesterday and don't have a lot of longs coming in on them. And right now working in MTVA. That one I like a lot. This is a pretty much bread and butter hangover setup on the short side. I'm sure if Mr. Josh is in here, he saw this one yesterday too. I mean, at the end of the day, 70 cents up to $1.70. Then just kind of open weak, and not that continuation on the momentum. And I like to just take a short while the longs kind of bleed out and take their profits. And unwind this position. But what are you working, Mr. Money Mitch?
I'm back in Upstart, man. That thing shook me out, but I'm back in it here, taking another shot there on the long on Upstart. But I'm also taking an Ion Z call, which is a short on Ion Q, essentially, to the long on the swing account, because the swing account's doing good, guys. And I'm just trying to really focus on that account. Like the day trade account, like, yes, it matters right now, but so close to the funded, got to keep it going on the swing, got to focus in.
Swing is right there.
Yeah, right there, man, right there.
Right. Yeah, I remember you messaged about open. Yeah, that play ended up, where's she at right now?
Good trade. Dude, I talked about it today on Trader TV. I said either opening short or at the end of the day, it could do a bull trap also. But I talked about that play, and look at that. Chapow, chapow, chapow. Yeah, you should have seen all the chat. The chat got real touchy when I mentioned short open.
Yeah. I mean, you're always going to ruffle feathers no matter what side you're on these. But open's certainly one that's got that's been squeezing out, so it's got the diamond hands on it. We could hold up here, and you could get just trade the price action, guys. There's nothing personal here. Trade the price action, and what was your analysis? I mean, it's just kind of opening up weak with that 10. That 10 already been hit several times, and we're seeing some upper wicks there. The price action to me was suggesting the same thing. We were both looking at it yesterday for some profit taking and weakness, but we didn't want Michael Nust. I mean, I think he liquidated his We didn't want to ruffle his feathers.
Don't worry, we were shorting the bot. We weren't shorting him.
Exactly. Upstart, that's good. I mean, so you re-stabbed at that one.
Yep.
That's good. I mean, it's not over trading. It's you're still seeing the setup. Here's my dude. I took a short on OPI, another penny play, and I top ticked this
Oof.
one. You see that? And
Yep.
and then when I'm considering like a re-entry, I'm always sitting here thinking to myself, am I tilted revenging this or over trading, or do I still see this setup? The thing is, in trade, you can always take it off and get re invested back into it. Take another position there, but you certainly
Hmm.
don't want to just over trade. There's a difference between trading still the price action and the setup versus just sitting there and continue to smack it when it's not going to work.
Yeah. I'm looking at RCAT today to see if it reverses back up on the daily. The daily looks still good. It's a $9 stock, right? It's an interesting stock. So I'm watching that today to see if it goes back through 10. But interesting name that I'll just keep watch here to see if it starts to really get going. Still got Ion Q or Ion Z. I got out of the day trade of that one, but now let's see if the swing trade works because sometimes it's just like that. And that's one way that you can trade the same name and not go against your rules and trade the pool. So you're not supposed to be trading the same stock in two accounts, but I'm not trading the same stock. I'm trading Ion QZ on one and Ion Q on the other. It's technically two stocks, right? Like, you know what I mean? At least by the rules, I'm still going by the rules. So that's what I'll be looking for. There it is. Now getting the spike that I was looking for in that stock. So now I'm just looking for the slightest pullback to go ahead and actually add to that. So any slight pullback I can add and then look to see if Ion Z really gets going here.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, Josh called the dip at 8. All right, good work.
On
Yeah,
Turb,
Turb up at 1170
the
now.
Turb. Oh,
Ja
that name
Guys,
sounds
chat's
lovely to
killing
me.
it. Perfect fall, hit the daily goal. James, daily goal at 4 a.m. Killing it. I love the motivation. I mean, that you guys, it inspires me. You're up at 4 a.m. Very ambitious, trading these tickers, ready to
Very
rock and
ambitious indeed. That's what we like to see, though. I'll tell you one thing:
vault it up.
if you're gonna make the money, it's in the morning on those names, right? I mean,
Yeah, pre-market's real fruitful. A lot of traders have been doing that, with these names pre-market because you just get the continuation that the Michael Noss's bots aren't active, at 4
that's
a.m.
what happens, you know.
Yeah, yeah. They hadn't turned them on. They hadn't turned them on
No,
9:30.
the
That
thing is,
high frequency trading.
it's bots that are can only do limit orders and things like that. There's just less they can mess with you, dude. That's just the truth.
Yeah,
But there's also less liquidity, so you need to understand that too, right? So it's like a give and take, right?
yeah,
They're they're not able to manipulate you as much because of the same effect that holds you back too, which is the limit order thing, right? And so you just have to understand that, right? So it's a give and take, right? You play with less robots, but you also have less liquidity, right? So
yeah, yeah.
give
That's
and take,
certainly
give
the
and take.
case.
The turd, man. How's RCAT, man? It's crazy. I'm having some stocks go up, some stocks come down. That's the interesting part, right? When it's interesting days like that, I think it's really something to watch for. That means usually something's going to happen bigger in a direction. We just kind of have to play in here and stay safe until we get that real direction to
Yeah,
see.
you've called it so many times. You say when it's time to swing, I mean swing. Yeah, when things are going in your direction. Yesterday things like nearly every trade I took was working that way, and this morning I'm feeling the same thing. It's like
Yeah.
it's a
You
little
have to
chop here, a
ride the
little
hot
chop there.
hand.
So you got to know when to size down, yeah, or ride that hot hand. Speaking of hot hand, Turb, who's riding Turb in chat? This thing,
TURB.
yeah, TURB.
Dude,
This
it's called Turbo Energy. Why don't you guys tell me?
the energy man.
Dude,
Yeah.
turbo energy. Oh, good lord. And it's in solar. You already know this thing is a piece of junk, but let's trade it, man.
Let's trade.
This is a great one. I like this. I like the hourly chart. So a lot of times when you want to see is also developing hourly chart. This one had a nice 15-minute chart. It already just broke that 850, really launched off of that. Watch for an attempted move back towards like 970s, $10. I'd love to see a quick dip on this thing and then I'd grab it too. Like go down, hold down back into the nines and then I'll grab it. You know, remember we talked about that one yesterday? That
Yeah.
strategy where it's like a halt up, then down, halt, then halt back up. We'll see if we get that.
Well, Tim, Turb might turn into the hangover play. It's certainly not right now. I need it to get quiet tomorrow. Tomorrow, not day one, right? Day one, I kind of step out of the way. But Tim, I need to get better at this. Like in chat this morning, I was pretty much saying like Turb's an avoid for me. Like it's not my bread and butter. I'm not going. It's essentially the ones I'm like I'm not trading this are usually good longs because I lean more like on the short side. I want to take the A plus setup that I see on the hangover side of things. And so, but you got to get a little more dynamic. Looking to long some of these, at a certain point in time, but I certainly, I know what they do. These million floats tickers, I know where they end up. Right, where they end up end a day or the day the next day, 2 days from now. You know where they're going. It's just as traders, right? We're looking for those fluctuations to take advantage of intraday. We're hunters of volatility and managers of risk. These I'd have to size down real small on these, and the risk management's tough. Very tough, but there are guys. I mean, like Josh, the QMMM, he nailed that thing. Like riding up into the momentum, into a halt like this, just knowing when to size up into these plays and taking advantage of them. You certainly can, but just know. But one thing I like, Mitch, with what Josh said is like I asked him, "What's the risk management when you're sizing into a play like this?" And he said his exit is essentially his entry. It's like, what's the risk here? It's like, well, if it goes beneath my entry, I'm essentially out of it. So with momentum plays, just know that, guys, because these certainly can be fruitful, but very dangerous as well. And I think that's the right approach. Your exit should be the entry price, because these things can elevate or down very quickly.
KLAR looking interesting if you're looking for that upside, right? Well, there it is. That can be a nice little breakout candle here. Just be careful with the spread, though. I do see it going really wide all of a sudden, and that's market makers trying to catch you. VXX still taking off there, guys. So that's actually weird. That means that the SPY could come right back down and continue to be weak. There are some random names that are green right now, but be careful because it's not much. Right. So that tells me even more
maybe.
like I'm out of my upstart, because there's just no point in me sitting in a name to the upside when the market's just getting shellacked. Right. And at some point, the tide is going to turn. If the overall market just continues to get hit, guess what? Your stock could be the best looking stock, and out of nowhere, chapow, it just hit hard. So.
Yeah, guys, I love what Adrian said. He's like, where they're going, but, you're absolutely right. Never say, I know where this is going. Never trade with certainty on them. What separates the better traders from everyone else is they know what their reaction is going to be in the face of adversity. They can have clarity of mind as far as what they're going to do. Because, yes, you do get those tickers that go up to 300. But this is the bread and butter setup.
Oh, you got
Adrian
one up?
that I talked about. ATCH. This one's cracking and profit taking right now. This is the bread and butter hangover. So, just taking a couple shorts here. Mitch has been helping me as far as sizing into it. It feels uncomfortable for me, but trying to get that reward
You're
off
doing
of the
it
risk.
more and more. And as you get more and more,
yeah.
you'll realize that that's what's going to make you money when it really comes down to it. It's being safe on majority of days. But when I really feel like I have it honed in and the price action is literally telling me that, I need to be able to stop being such a and just go after it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Just going after it.
That's what even let's say like if you're in sports, right? Like when you're doing like majority of the times like a quarterback needs to protect the ball. He's not trying to turn it over. But there's times when he's feeling hot. And he's just going to launch. He's going to put it up there. One-on-one, I don't care. I'm throwing it up there, right? And that's what it needs to be sometimes. Sometimes we need to be able to know when to put risk on.
Speaking of putting risk on, TURB, $13. I would love to sprinkle a little bit of a short on this, but I'm just
I gotta go clip my. I think Open's a short today. Because, dude, you should have seen it. You should have seen that chat. That chat got buzzing when I said that. And look at her go. Look at her go now. Now cutting 9. And I talked about potentially 850.
Oh, that was
my
a beautiful
thing was I needed a VWAP fade. I like my VWAP fades on stocks like this. So I needed some type of balance. I didn't get it. So no entry. That's okay. Sometimes that's going to happen, guys. you can call really good shots and not take them. To me, this is one of those where it'll be a pat on the back for good chart analysis, right? Just didn't get the trade, but I got one yesterday. So don't be mad, right? Let's keep going. Let's keep trading. I think this
Yeah,
is
that was
going to
a
turn
beautiful bear
Zillow.
flag.
So what I can do is I could short Zillow. And Zillow is one of those where like I told you guys, like this name doesn't turn until it really turns. And doesn't this look like a Head and Shoulders right now? Looks
Yeah,
pretty Head and Shouldery, right?
yeah,
Like
it does.
left shoulder, head, right shoulder, now trying to break the neckline. So I'm going to give it a chance to do what's called the trend line approach. I talk about these all the time, guys. So you draw your trend line and you say, come to it, but don't break it, and then just come right back down. All right, so trend line up, then pow. We'll see if Zillow gets wrecked here today.
Yeah, open's tempting. I mean, the flag was beautiful. It's looking very heavy. It's down about a point off of open's open. So I'd certainly be looking. I mean, even if it's like still against VWAP, getting a position there to fade this one on down. So
A
one a
firm
month.
looks like it's about to break down, guys. That means Karna could break down with it. So it faked to the upside. Now it could get shorted into. Watch out. I know there's a lot of people trying to trade that IPO.
The MTVA curled around, took me out. I was trying to leave that one on to work. MTVA doing a little red to green move. That was the play yesterday. So I'll revisit it.
This is why I call them trend line approaches. You see how this approaches the trend line? It like literally approaches.
Yeah.
Look for these, guys. Don't always look for just trend line breaks and breakdowns. Look for it to approach the trend line, and then you'll see if it breaks out or breaks down, right? But approaches can just be a trade, right? Like let's say this range is small, but let's say if the range was like $1 or $2, why not trade the range and like take a buy there and then like just sell it into the trend line? You don't know how many times I've seen it that you could just do that often, where you're just buying something and selling it to the trend line. Not necessarily always looking for the breakout or the breakdown, just buying it and selling it, buying it and selling it. Ion Q, let's see if we get the real breakdown here, guys. This was a trade I made cash on earlier in the day trade. Swung it to the swing side, right? Because I think it's a trade that could continue to break down here. And I went Ion Z, which gave me a 2-time leverage short. Let's go. Looking pretty good on the chart. And I'm moving up in the world, so I'm just trying to keep going on the swing account, right? Moving on up. Let's move on up with our next guest here. The man with the tracks, the dogs, and everything in between. Josh. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Man, loving some turb today. Some turbo, baby. Turbo energy doing
let's
some
go.
big moves.
Yeah. You've been on it all morning, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The first, the shorting at kind of resistance, and then of course, then getting the bounce play at the former 52-week high, at $8 there was perfect for turb, and then $8 bounce play runs all the way up to $14.80, and now $15. Here we go.
Qs are starting to bounce a little bit here. So maybe we can get some type of bounce back here. I'm looking for a VWAP rejection. We'll see what happens here, but definitely starting to get some green on the screen. So just be careful out there, traders.
That is a big move. Right?
16. Oh my goodness. I got the popcorn out on it. It looks like it's going to halt up again.
Yeah, she's boosting. She's flying right now. She's absolutely cruising.
Break even for me. Turbo. You guys see a ticker named Turbo and you guys don't tell Money Mitch?
Oh, Money Mitch.
Come on, man. The ticker is named Turbo. You guys should have been yelling at me this morning.
Mitch! Hey, Mitch, I forgot to tell you, it's Turbo Day.
Turbo. There's a stock called Turbo. I would have been like, okay, yeah, just watch out, guys. I would have had the turbo sound ready to go. It would just been like.
Man.
Just blow off valve on this turb.
What's your analysis up here, Mr. Josh, on the TURB? I'm
Right
curious.
now, popcorn. Yeah, you're going to leave this play alone. Honestly, in my opinion, that's just me. I am done with TURB. You got
Dude,
to.
this is not a to me. This is not a wave one. This is a wave three, and you're on the big move. So there's no need to turn around until you get some type of consolidation here, right? So, yeah, it's a monster. It's a monster. Let's see if something else follows it, right? You know how it goes, right? You know how it goes. Something all of a sudden starts moving, then the rest of them want to go with it. So ATYR, a little name looking around. You guys seeing anything else set up there?
Still monitoring open. NUKK is an interesting one. I think they had some reputable news, but we have like a quadruple top at 650s NUKK, and it's almost bear flagging similar to OPEN.
Nuke.
Yeah, NUKK. So it's looking a little weak there. May take a position against VWAP. OPI is so painful for me. That top. OPI is such a beautiful play, guys. I mean, $1.15 to 78. That's just the bread and butter, what I look for. And then WLDS, Josh, you remember that one? That was a play like all week last week, and she was heavy yesterday. I faded it yesterday, and I'm just monitoring WLDS a little bit today. It's holding the previous close.
Yep, yeah. Wilds was a good one. Wilds, and of course, yeah, we're just going back to those previous runners. We're seeing a lot of that. Really, since July and August, I noticed that, and but yeah, nothing like Turbo today. Turbo's got the mob. BRA's got some sympathy. It's halting up. I would be careful trading BREA. More of a popcorn mover, and yeah, Turbo. It's really, you call bounce play at 8. You're not thinking you're going to see 18 in about 30 minutes. Gee,
Right.
But yeah, right now, I'm not looking for a trade as far as I'm not seeing anything.
BREA, good call there. Looking left the chart on BREA to predict right is what we do. And left on BREA, we actually see a lot of upper wicks around 13 to 15-ish, that territory. So just monitor that and know what you're dealing with here. As Josh mentioned, sympathy. It doesn't have reputable news behind it, which may or may not be reputable on our good friend Turbo. So BREA, a lot of upper wicks there. Past chart history. Let me show
Here,
you.
you can show us Josh if you want. We got Josh charts up too. I'm shorting a TSLL and just a little bit of short of some Tesla here.
Yep. Oh, I got the wrong one up. I got Nuke up here, so I have Nuke up. I have the wrong one up, so I'm looking at Nuke on the right-hand side. But yeah, you guys all go over. Let's share the right screen. Let's share the left screen, actually. But Nuke, I see what you're talking about. This is gorgeous up top here, what Kevin was talking about, that triple top. I mean, it's really it's crazy to see these moves to right into a specific area. And lo and behold, I right-click, and then I edit properties here just to see this line's been in from September the 2nd. So yet again, a play that I leave a line in, and look how we fell at it. After hours and pre-market yet again. Love, absolutely. That's why I try to tell traders all the time, put your lines in. And
doesn't have to be complicated. Yeah, just throw your lines up there.
Yes. And then what you were talking about with BREA, where is the top going to be at on Bree? Oh, no, not that. I think it was contract.
This is a play BREA. I like to slow scale if I'm going to trade it, like real slow. I like all the upper wicks I'm seeing left of the chart. It is sympathy, and there's no news here. So for me personally, I would be breaking it into small pieces like 25, 20, just up towards like 16, 17, just picking that line left of the chart. That's me personally. Now certainly you can get the dip and ride it on up to those levels. But that's my style.
I knew there'd be I kept calling it like a downtrend break, so to speak, in volume in plays, as in we would get going again. We would see a second wave. Last Monday, Tuesday, big plays, obviously, from Octo that turned into Orbs, name change, of course, QMs. And then we slowly but surely get slower and slower and slower into today. And today in pre-market and the opening bell, there really wasn't a lot to pick from. And now we have Turb up 600%.
Going towards 20.
Yeah, this is probably going to be our round 2 right here.
Yeah, here we go. Pulling back a little bit, TURB. We'll see if it buys up there. Yeah, she's not slowing down.
And over that mark too, this is one of those things where you go past chart history, kind of like Kevin was talking about. I go to the 1 year win day and you try to find resistance here. And this is all time high for Turb. So this is a play if you go back far, far, far in time, then you only have to go back to 2024 and the former 52 week high the former high, all time high was right around 790. So we're working with yet another chart here that has nothing up top, nothing here. So you need to be very careful when trading a play up top on Turb. Now, bounce plays that's why I like bounce plays, because then you come in and the charting's already been made for you, and so you can come in and try to find your balance area. And I always have levels of from risky all the way down. So essentially, this would be your risky biscuits area. 1725
biscuits.
You don't want those. And then to me is a little safer area. This flat plat, as I always call it, this old plateau. This area is going to be your safer dip buy right around 1450 to 14. And then their safer one's going to come down to the bottom side of that right around 13. I doubt we see lower than 13 over the next couple of hours. And just because of this play's got them off from last week, we are going to see this play stay up. And then plays like BREA get sympathy from it. So BREA, Kevin's looking to short it. Do not be surprised if BREA sees a fail in reversal. And then if Turb is still running like I project it to be in an hour or two, you're going to see another sympathy play pop up out of nowhere and go on a multi, maybe 100 or 200%.
Well, it also depends. If Turb just completely snaps here, like BREA could sustain a move. So, the mob could head over there. So it's something I'm monitoring as well, that the mob shift as Josh goes over before BREA's open. But another one, I want to show you guys something here too. This is a play I didn't take this morning, but CHEK was just absolutely gorgeous. This is another backside play. It was hot yesterday, but it has on the 5-day chart a little head and shoulders ish here, a little deformity on the right shoulder. They don't always have to be perfect, but 280s. And the neckline is right around 230s, and she smacked that 280 right shoulder and pulling back and heavy at the moment, CHEK. So it's one I didn't hit up there, but it's just one to be mindful of. It's good to be a student of the market and go back and see these things so we can be prepared for the next go-round.
Triggered out there in TSLL, back above the VWAP, so I'm out on that one. Took about $30 hit there, $39 hit there. So down about $1 on the account, but still got that IonQ short position, just putting it out there. Let's go, IonQ. Just break down. Let's go. VXX.
I like that tack.
What's that?
Money flows like water. Always finds a stock. Yeah, I'm waiting for this BREA open. I mean, I love the wicks up there. The thing is, when long traders see that, they get more hesitant, and then when short traders see that, they get eager. So that that recipe turns into the upper wicks that you see now. Certainly, as we were pointing out with Adrian earlier, we don't want to say we know. There's no certainty here. But again, what I think we just opened BREA. Let me
focus in.
Pay attention to what this is going to do here, because if this could turbo head up to 20, but
just added there on Ion Z, guys, looking for that down action to come right back in and some down action to come in there. The Turb B looks pretty tippy on that 18s there, but at least you're starting to get some sideways action. Let's see what happens though. That thing keeps holding the 9 EMA. You saw you got that undercut of the 9 right there at the 1680s, all the way to like 15. So it's a tough 9 EMA undercut and rally.
Bria halted up.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you trade tickers that have girls' names. That girl right there can do you dirty.
She's done us all dirty, man.
Bria. Hey, Bria. What are you running for? And the spread, too, on that play, you have to be careful when that play is open and live. There is a decent spread on that. So you have to know what you're doing when you're trading a sympathy play and a play like that has a spread, major spread.
Know when to fold.
And that song came on the other day. I was like, it's a great song, The Gambler. Like, if you listen to it, like if you actually listen to the lyrics of that chorus, I'm like, this actually, if you think about it, it's actually good for stock traders if they listen to this.
If they would, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's as simple as just open the ears, man. Open the ears. Q's looking heavy here. We'll look to see if we get some further downside to come in. That's what I see out there, but who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely if you think about it, but you just don't really, But I was like, it was just came on the other day. I was like, hold on a sec. I just really was listening again. Like,
Cold taking the dump.
oh, that's what it reminded me of was last week with Michael and I, and not doing the looking at our P&L because it says we all know the part, no one to hold them, no one to fold them. But then it says you never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There will be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. And I'm like,
exactly. You don't count your money at the table. That's like counting your money in your unrealized profits.
Yeah, exactly.
Those eggs ain't hatched yet.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. When I was sat there and listened to that, I was like, hold on a second. This is absolutely perfect. Every stock trader needs to listen to this.
All right, guys. Short some Zillow there, like I talked about. Did exactly the setup that I told you guys. It went to the trend line and then just rejected it. So sometimes when you see things like that, just take the shot, right? We'll see what happens there. And also long on the VXX. So looking for just more further downside in the market today. Talked about the weakness that I'm seeing. And gold really coming off there today. And it's just the weak sectors, right? Earlier, there was like still some green on the screen for me in sector-wise and sector land. But now you can see here, guys, only thing up is energy. Everything is down from the open. And so that tells me more and more, watch out, because there it is. There's that wiping out that talk, and I was even mentioning in the chat. It looks like that kind of wipeout day. You're seeing it in a lot of different trades. So it's not just one area. And when you're seeing even defensives going down with this, that just tells you more and more. This isn't a rotation. This is a profit taking. I think we're seeing ahead of the interest rates.
And you got your one black sheep in Apple that's nice and green. It is coming down now, but yeah, had a huge spike.
The key there is Apple's considered value. So when the other ones get sold off, now Apple gets bought. Yeah. And Apple was a buy. It was a buy. Sell the rumor, buy the rumor, sell the news event, right? On this drive up, it comes back down to the support, and then you just buy it again. What do you think the institutions did? You think they got scared because Apple came out with a new iPhone? No. Dude, only us dummies that get sold into this down move, and then we're like, oh man, Apple was it was a horrible event. It was horrible. Like live translations on AirPods, no one's gonna use that. It's just going to the trash. No, dude, that's why people were buying it up. Apple's going to new highs, I think, at some point here this year. That's above 260s. So we still got another, 10% there?
Yeah, it's that next leg up. I kind of been waiting on trying to get back over that 240, 242 mark. And I agree with you. It's definitely on watch for me for sure as well. And
the thing was they loaded in 200s. When a stock can do this, like a big boy stock can create that sideways action, the big boys loaded in on 200s. They're like, they just kept banging in it. And I wouldn't be surprised. You'll see it. Usually about like a quarter after we get the kind of the 13Fs. I wouldn't be surprised you see a lot of adding on Apple. Even maybe Warren Buffett that sold a bunch of Apple maybe got right back in at that 200. So we'll find out, guys. Apple's strong today. That's about the only really big boy, right? Let's go to the big boys. Let's see. Apple, Meta up. Meta was good yesterday, but it looks really wicky now. We'll see what happens.
Bria open. I am throwing a starter on this, like I mentioned, 25, and just kicking back.
All right, Bria, baby.
I'll give it about give it about 100 risk. It may be halting down now. Everyone knows what's going on here, so.
Not everyone.
Oh, I do that. Yeah. The people buying at the top don't.
Yeah.
Wait a second. This is supposed to turbo off into $20. Yeah, perfect fall. I do that too. An emotional decision. As far as you hit, you kind of that daily goal ish you got on the day, and then you don't take some trades or setups you see. But I mean, you could size down a bit. Certainly decision we make, out of emotions. Go for it.
That's really good conversation because it happens all the time. Well, you're going to hit your goal, and you have the question: do I continue, or do I go like off? Do I just sign off? Right?
It's a tough one. Yeah, that's a
It's a
great
tough one.
conversation
It's
to
a
have.
conundrum, really.
It really is.
So what I would say is that it's all about how you're feeling on your hot level. Like remember I told you earlier, like when you're really hot, 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 you need to hit the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it needs to be. So sometimes you can do what's called like kind of what we call a heat check in basketball. So in basketball, a player gets hot and he just starts shooting the ball, right? He makes one or two, and you guys probably have seen Stephen Curry do this, where he'll make one or two, and then he'll just start chucking it up because it's just like he's just feeling it. And so what he's gonna do is he's gonna continue shooting until it goes away, because you never know. The hot hand could stay hot, right? You can just keep trading really well. But what you want to do is when you do get your hand nipped, right? When you finally do get that hand like, hey, calm down there, that's when you got to really take it back. That's when you got to say, okay, the hot trade was done. Now I need to take a step back and see what I can come up with, right? So I think that's the important part there is catch yourself when you finally do get slapped, but only when you're feeling really hot. If you were feeling like you weren't feeling the market this morning and out of nowhere you made that money, those are going to be days where I would say maybe it might be best just to call it quits and just take your money because, like you said, you weren't feeling it and you ended up in the green. Time to run, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there where Douglas says trading in the zone. That's what he uses. Like when you're
That's
in the
that's what exactly what I'm talking about, man.
in
It-
the zone.
we've all been there, right? When you're in the zone, when you're paying attention to what's called the present moment. That's why I also recommend a book called The Power of Now because the Power of Now is all about the present moment. And so I would really recommend if you want to get really good at day trading, you get really, really good at understanding being in present moment thinking. So that's not being in the past or the future. So you're not trying to think, oh no, but maybe I should have done this in my trade, or maybe I should have got in here or here. And then you're also not thinking, oh no, but this is going to happen to the stock. This is going to happen. You're not predicting. You're more in open to the present moment and focusing on the price action, exactly what's happening versus what you're thinking or predicting, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And it's rare though. It's rare. You'll find it like maybe like it comes and goes. That's what I've learned. And so you have to also try to get that as close to you as possible. How many times can I get in the zone in a month? And maybe keeping a tally of that is actually a good thing.
Kobe.
He said it right. You Mamba mentality, man. And when you're in that Mamba mentality, what do? You eat. You go out there and you eat, man. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. You can't be all scared. Scared money don't make no money. And that saying is real true. Scared money don't make money, guys. You have to be willing to take risk, but you also just got to be what? Keeping the risk in mind, right? It's just risk to return. That's the game we play.
That
We're all
is-
poker players with hands, guys. That's all it is. We're all poker players.
Poker face.
It really is. It's the best analogy. It really is to it.
Like I know that some people say that like, oh, but trading's not gambling. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, dude. It's just sophisticated gambling. That's all it is. That's the only difference, right? Like if you have a friend that makes money on a parlay and makes thousands of dollars, guess what? He's not doing any different than you. He's just being what? You're being sophisticated. You're thinking in how you're gambling. You're going in an approach with math. You're going in it with a different mentality. But at the end of the day, it's gambling. Leave it to that, and then you'll start to understand that you're playing a game here, right? So we need to what? Stay on peak performance, focus on what's going on, and really try to gain like skill every day. Not necessarily just trying to gain money every day, but gain skill.
Completely agree.
Yeah. What's going on,
don't
guys?
get,
Is that Bria? Did you take it?
Yeah, I got that first entry at what I get? 1430. I'm in small. I just threw a starter on it, so I only had 25 on it. But
That's
I'm gonna
awesome.
work this one. I'm gonna work this one back down because she could just head back down to 10. Off of the sympathy. So I'm kicking back there, just kicking back with a few. But today hadn't been like yesterday for me. I haven't had a lot of continuation on some of these plays. So I mean, like you said, when you're in the zone, be in the zone, but know when to size up and size down too. That's very important. One thing in regards to that, that I've noticed, I've watched, a lot of the trader interviews with Michael Katz, and everyone agrees like that the drawdown on the day has been a game changer for them. All the traders do, because the number one thing that's gonna that blows up everyone is they go on tilt, they over leverage, and they blow up their account. So having that drawdown to prevent you from doing that is massive on the accounts. I mean, it certainly is.
All right, here's one name that's starting to go that I want to access to. It's RCAT, guys. RCAT starting to go. I talked about this setup there. It's starting to make a nice little reversal off the kind of the 970 areas, now the 990. I would love a pullback to 980s here, but I don't know if I'm going to get it here. So looking to see what's going to happen with RCAT, and then that one would activate UMAC. We'll see what happens in RCAT, trying to make a little bit of a lift off back towards 10.
Well, see, something I'm trying to do right now is because I'm inching pretty close to getting funded on this max 25. Is I've seen a lot of the traders, they like what Cass has said is they like get over eager and aggressive once they get the finish line in sight. So I'm overthinking it a little bit. I'm like, okay, let me size down. Let me not go for it.
That's what I do. Okay. So as you get closer and closer, like now I don't want to be big size. I can't take a big loss here. When you get within, especially like, let's say like $100 or $200, you want to start de-risking in the trades and just hoping that your consistency gets you there. So
yeah.
Or you take one shot and you play the game like I've done it in the past, where a lot of times that doesn't work out, right? So it's the same way it does at the beginning, right? Like that one shot is usually not the way to play it.
One shot, one opportunity.
Yeah, what you want to see is like you start to hang out at the top equity, right? So just hanging out there is better than taking those roller coaster rides once you're at that spot, right?
I like that, yeah.
If you only stair step like from the very beginning, that's also tough too, because I'll tell you that, how long do you have till you take a big loss, right? So you do have to take some shots at the beginning. I do think that's how the best way to go for the evals, like take some shots. That's what trading's about. But once you get close to the goal, start being really smart with how you're trading your risk.
Yeah.
Like for me, you guys see me today, right? I did have a nice little trade on the VIX, $42, but then I quickly risked that on the TSL, and it didn't really let it get over that, right? It was really break even. So essentially break even on the day, gave myself the shot, and I'm still in a positive trade here on Ion Z. And if I do risk here, it'll be probably like $15, right? Nothing really big. Just trying to keep it small. We'll see what happens here on the VIX or the SPY. SPY did bounce a little bit there, but still hanging out where? At the bottom end of the range. Was looking for a VWAP rejection. Exactly that, right? We went right to the VWAP right here to the key 60, 60, 52. The high of this candle, 660, 52, right? So tells me more and more we could be in for a weaker day, and we're going to start to see some more leakage. Let's see if that comes true, and then that Ion Z position could finally pay me out, right? We'll see what happens there, guys.
New spiker and Chow, CHOW, another one. New IPO play, Chow.
Chow, really?
Chow. Chow is running, baby.
Oh, good Lord.
I think I ate this dish the other day at the restaurant.
Oh, it's halted already, man.
Chow.
Dude, you got these names and you don't tell me. You guys tell Josh what's going on here, man. What's going on here?
Look left of the chart, traders. You're gonna find a lot of analysis. One big green candlestick on Chow. Yeah, I mean that one. It kind of helps me out with BREA though. BREA just opened. Come on, let's
go. Down $12.
I'll take it.
Ooh, 12, 11. Ooh, just cash. That's cash right there. What happened to
Cash
the other
Money
one?
Records? Cash Money Records. This is going to 10, man.
What was the one that was earlier that was moving? had one earlier that was getting the lift.
Turb, right?
Turb, the turb.
Not turd, yeah.
That
Turb,
also
not
just
turb.
sounds like a turd too. So the turd is still on turbo. Yeah, that thing's still on turbo, man. That
Oh,
thing
Yeah.
is,
Like I said, yeah.
Bria is capitulating, guys.
that thing
Bria
is
is capitulating.
not dying down. Is the turb. It's doing what we call trend line approaches. I talk about these where it's trying to approach the trend line and load up there, which is 17, right? So everyone can see that trend line, right? You could see it even before it gets there, right? Like when it's hanging out here, you're like, yeah, it's gonna get into that trend line, trying to break it, right? So then it approached it here, then reloaded right here. So now it's reloading at 17. Let's see if it really rocks and rolls off that 17. I'd like to see 17 hold if I was long at 17 there now. So let's see if it really starts to push back 18, 20s and really push.
A perfect dip at the 1450 mark that I talked about earlier. That was the middle safe area for Turb. Old resistance equals new support.
Yeah.
Just
You
beautiful.
preach it.
Beautiful today on Turb. Absolutely. And yeah, every time I say Turb, I feel like I'm saying turd, but I'm saying
Me
Turb.
too. But we're not flushing it just yet.
Yeah.
We're letting this one hang out. This one's doing a little marination there.
Yeah. Getting ready to
Yeah.
cook that.
Yeah.
Man, there's some downside out there, guys. There's some downside. MSTR is starting to turn around there too. So watch for the cues to start wiping out here. SPY, we'll see if it starts to do it. It's weak here and definitely weak. It's at 10:45. I've been hanging in on these shorts. Still got Ion Q essentially short here. We'll see what happens if it can come right back down and crack that 57. The key here is the daily chart, right? Like this is really extended away right off the highs. So this could eventually just pull back into the zone 54 or 52 today, even if it really starts failing.
Oh, CR Trader. I got I can show my chart. I hit it like right before it halted. Yeah.
Oh, there's your chow, right back down to the 1080s there. Man, I feel like trying to play this just with like 20 shares just to kind of just have some fun. Chow. Back down to 1080s. Oh, I think that's going to halt. The chow, man.
Oh man. Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I was seeing it. I can't do it. It halted there. I'm glad I didn't do it.
Jason called it earlier, and I saw it in the chat. A lot of halts here recently. Obviously, from last week into this week, we're seeing halts, and a lot of halts.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the Bria guys. I mean, just to learn from that one. I mean, just look at the past chart history and know that it's sympathy, as Josh was saying. You know, this is so that one.
Hood.
Elevator
breakout.
pretty quick there. Hood. All right.
Big breakout in Hood. That stock isn't going away anytime soon, man. I can't believe Hood was so cheap, bro. Oh, man, I have like levels there to buy it below 10, and I never respected it. I was like, yeah, below 10, buy it, Mitch. Never did it.
And you just say the name Robin Hood, and you kind of go, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone." It seems a little sketchy.
Just below 10, like it made sense for like a buyout of a brokerage, not necessarily for like. I thought Robinhood was coming back, but I thought like some other broker would just be like, "We'll just buy you just because you have customers, right? So like it's worth it there, money wise, just to buy the company, just to literally say that you have the subscribers, right?
Yep.
So sometimes data counts, man. They'll sell it just because of the data, right? Like it was valued there for data, not necessarily for.
Yeah.
But it's strong, man. They've been coming out with everything. Debit bank. They got a credit card. They're letting you short now. They got sports. They got crypto. They're doing it all for you now.
Next thing you know, they'll be promoting the next Canelo Crawford fight.
Oh, you know it. They're looking at it right now.
Looking for a short here on Apple. Apple into this lower shadow. I'm looking to get filled here on Apple. And another thing for a short on Turb, when we crack this bottom support line here around 13ish or so, that it has a lot of open territory to crack back on down for a safe short because it's at all-time high areas. So that's the only chart we have to work with right there. So if you're looking for a short on Turb, I know there's a lot of traders out there going, "Oh, this is going to give back. This is going to give back gains." It will give back gains, but just have patience. if you don't want to short the top, there's not really a lot of good shorts up top on this either, past chart history wise. Just wait for this bottom blue line to crack and you'll get a good short out of it. Just have patience on it though. It's just like Mitch was saying, you get that break and then you get to these key levels and traders are coming in and they start buying. You don't know a lot of the time where that short's going to be at up top, where they're finally going to take their profit, and then you get the sell off here. Just have patience and wait for this backside move. It happened yesterday. Just go to you're getting it now from Bree HSDT. It happened yesterday, obviously earlier on in the day here, right? We got that sell off, and it kind of sold off more throughout the day. And the big one that did spike up yesterday was NAOV, and again, same kind of thing where you get the spike up, it has the mob. Then slowly but surely you start getting this backside move. And so that's what I've been waiting for here on Turbo. Patience, team, patience.
Got to get stopped out on Ion Z, guys. So we'll let you guys know on that one. RCAT's still staying strong. Market kind of hanging in here, guys. We'll see what happens here. It's just right there.
Yeah, we're already getting to the top of the hour.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to risk the $40 here, guys. I'm just gonna risk the $40 and call it a day on the swing account. So, it's pretty much like, okay, well, it needs to work here, or if not, just call it a day here. And $40 is a normal risk there for me. I showed you guys it early on today, guys. About $50 average loss on this account. So, gonna give you the chance to recover just in case it does a little scoop here and rally, or scoop and just falls right now on the SPY. You can see it's trying right there. Trying to get back up on the SPY. I'll show you guys it on the market right now. So this is kind of the last little thing that I'll kind of leave off with, and then from there, always take it here. We'll see what happens in the small cap land. But you see the SPY kind of really heavy there. If it sweeps down there, I'm still looking really good on Ion Z. So that's why I got to give it the chance. Right, got to give it the chance to see what happens here in the overall market. Open bouncing back after that 9 cut down this morning. We'll see if it comes back. 950s later in the day could maybe be a short, but right now I think that's a no touch for me. It was a good call. Just didn't catch it right out the gates there. But
FGI halted up. It's looking like she wants to try some U-shape red to green move. FGI, just monitor that, traders.
That's a good price zone compared to kind of you're seeing right now. Remember I told you there's sometimes the $3 ones and things like that. Well, now you're seeing more of those teens. So not a bad name there. There's Turb now starting to come right back down there. So it did try to make a move back above that 17, finally cracked that 17, then rejected it right here. Now you're starting to get that pullback right back down on Turb. Berea at 10, 11. Oof. There you go. Get it. Top point holding. I have no idea where the hell that thing's moving.
Top. I remember we had TOP last week, Ryan, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, dude, that was one of my first, man. That made me feel real smart in my class. I had a finance derivatives course that I was like, yeah, that stock's going to move another 100% tomorrow. Everyone in the class was like, who's this guy? Calling out a stock that's going to move 100%. Even my professor was like, you're joking, right? And then the next day he was like, pulls me to the side. He's like, yo, how did you know this?
Magic crystal ball.
Well, what can I say, Professor? It was a dry Baltic index.
you say, Professor, sign up for my chat room.
He was like, I was like, there's a dry Baltic index. And he was like, the dry Baltic, what BS is that? I was like, I don't know, man. I was looking for something, and that was going up. So I was like, the index is doing well. That's my thesis behind this. These shipping stocks are just ripping towards the moon, and I've been seeing the red to green move, so I'm going to bet on another red to green move. It was like, well, you're onto something. Keep it up.
Got some. It's funny back in the day on Thinkorswim. I say back in the day, when I first got it, how many studies Thinkorswim has? Like the Swami intraday impulse. It's like you just go through the A to Z's and you're like, what in the world are these? Like I've never heard of a lot of these. Like cycle studies or daily. Like the John F. Ehlers studies. I never heard of him. And he's got all the Swami. He's a
you were about
Swami.
to say the John F. Kennedy studies.
Yeah, no,
They
yeah,
probably
John,
have it. They probably
John
have.
Kirsten's indicators. Yeah, some of those I've heard of, but some of them there's just so many out there. So you just tell that professor of yours you're using some of these the McClellan simulation.
Use the Donald J. Trump indicator because they need one. They really do.
Yeah, right.
They got it. It's called True Social.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I first opened up Thinkorswim. I was just like paralysis by analysis. What is going on here? But now it's all I use.
Think or
FGI, where are we going to open up? Trying that red to green. Tiny float. Could it steal the momentum off of the good old turd?
Yep, top as well. That's what I was saying earlier. We had Bree, now top's the next one. I wouldn't be surprised if we got another one after top to halt up as well.
yeah, they stack on each other, right? The one I like, guys, to come back later in the day, this YSXT. I feel like it's just setting up there, guys, and hit the $3 area. I think there's some bigger buyers stepping up in that $3 spot there for that YSXT.
TPP, gotcha. TOPP, yeah, okay.
See if that thing gets
FTI, the Federal Growers Investigators are now they're live. They're live.
What do you remember the ticker? I think it was Tops. It was a shipping play. This was like 6,
that's
7
it.
years.
Tops.
That's what you were talking about, Mitch.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
like Eagle, ships.
Dude, what was that? 2016. That time period with the
Yeah,
shipping.
it was. I think it was
hilarious,
either
yeah.
2016 or 2018. One of those
It was,
years.
it was 3 years in a row. It was 2016, 2017, and 2018. It happened 3 years in a row, and each year it was like because 2019. I'll never forget because of the group that I used to be in. September, October, we were like, all right, you know what happens in November? We were like,
The shippers,
baby. And then that November of 2019, everyone was like, crickets.
Yeah, DRYS is the one I remember. I remember that one.
Dries.
Major
Dries,
short
another
squeeze. Yeah.
Dries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not a bad one to look at.
Now that was fun. That was crazy times. For
She's
sure.
still around.
Dries, I don't know. I think Dries is off. Yeah, Dries is off. I think even Tops is still around, but that's at 530s. I think it's pretty much off. Eagle, I think, is still around, but they all fly off. The ones that I kind of took over were like S-Bulk, but it never really had that type of move, right? That's SBLK, but that doesn't really kind of move like that, guys. All right, guys, I think I'm just going to call it a day, man. This is a tough one today, guys. I feel like it's one of those days where this happens to me often where I got the action right. Like I know, like I'm feeling like it's pullback, right? But I'm also not trading green. So what is that telling me? There's pretty much they're trying to chop us up in between this, right? And so you got to be a little bit careful when they're trying to chop you up because they will. They'll come and get you, man. They'll keep it within the range. They'll bounce it another 20 cents. Every time you think you got it pegged, they just literally won't give it to you. That's how it is sometimes. And so what you got to know is the getting's good and the getting's time to get out, right? So like I always say, you got to know it and develop rules for yourself to kind of keep the over trading going on. And so what I usually do on moments like this, I will take some pause away from the market. If it's still around here in the afternoon, well, I can take another attempt. But for right now, I need to pause on my eyes, and that's how it can be for you guys out there. Don't forget that sometimes you just need a pause away from the computer, and it can be so beneficial to you. It's not about just staying here 24/7, blowing your eyeballs, and then when you're trying to react to fast trades, you're just like barely can even focus, right? Well, that's what happens when you stare at every 1 minute candle. So get out of those 1 minute candles charts. Stop focusing so much on the tick. Focus on the bigger charts, 15 minutes, even for the smaller names. I can't say this countless times, man. The smaller names, if you really watch it on the hourly and 15-minute levels, then you combine it with a short time frame chart. That's what I think works the best because then you're trading with three or usually 3 time frames of traders. What do I mean? Like you got like the 1 minute traders that are seeing something, you're trading with them. You're trading with the 5 minute traders that are seeing something, the 15-minute traders that are seeing something. So you got all those traders trading in one direction, that's going to benefit you because you've already kind of timed it out, right? You're looking at the bigger time frames. So I'll let the boys take over and show you guys all into
Money
penny
Mitch.
stock
Always
action.
appreciate you, man. Good
Always,
work.
man. Keep
Yeah.
working hard, boys. It's good to see you guys in the chat. Tur being mentioned out there, Reddit being mentioned. It's good to see you guys. Wish you guys the best of luck out there, Treem. ALAB, a lot of different trades out there. And gold was down big earlier. We'll see if it bounces back. AU is one way to kind of short that. You guys know this thing goes up all the way, but I also could say that this comes down a long ways too. We'll see what happens there in AU.
Hey, you.
All right. Hey, you. Hey, you.
Hey, you. All right.
All right. Ion Q, Ion Z finally getting a little bounce there. Little bounce. We'll see what happens there, guys. Watch out for the market takedown. We'll see if we get it today. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. I'll let the boys take on over. I am going to switch to the other screens just to make sure, I actually get removed because you know how it is. All right, so that's Nas's screen. We don't need that one. Here's Kevin's. Let me remove myself.
Boom.
Yeah, FGI, very interesting here. I mean, we got some pre-market resistance overhead. Turb is heavy under the descending triangle a bit right now. But, I do like FGI against a lot of this, like, 14, 15 area. What are your thoughts, Mr. John?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that area. That's what I was just kind of looking at when I was zoomed out a little bit. I like that 14 to 1450 area right through here for FGI for that reversal. We are starting to get it off of this low dip in pre-market that we got before the opening bell. Starting to see some failing right there off of it. And again, do not be surprised if we see yet another play top pop up. Probably sympathy. Also, some sort of chat room pumpy-ish of some sort when you see these plays. Just be very careful. We will see more of these throughout the day. And again, my short area is back under this $13 mark for Turb. Watching for some movement back on down. Should get some good movement down to that VWAP.
It's slowing down. It's slowing down a lot. And I really like the descending triangle we've seen on it. 15's a decent area for risk. I mean, it's a little wicky, so you need to probably give it a little room, size down a little bit more and give it some room. This is the chart I'm looking at on at TURB. Just lower highs, towards that right around 15 area. And now it's slowing down. You can tell volume's fading. So I'm looking at too for a potential entry there to stab at it against over under 15. And then, of course, top, as soon as you said we were live, it immediately halted down. I mean, that thing, again, sympathy, like we saw with Bria. And what was the other play? There was another one doing the same thing. Chow. Yeah. How can I forget that? Chow. And she's halted up now. The IPO there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm slowly scaling into my Apple short that I was talking about. So Apple finally cracking through that VWAP. I'd been waiting for that. And then now that support line. So I've been slowly scaling into Apple. Apple's the only trade I'm in currently and have taken since I've been here with you guys for the last hour. So really wanted that bounce play on Turb. It just was up too high for me to take that 1450 bounce area. But I love this old resistance equals new support. It's kind of like what Mitch was saying. They're getting in those smaller time frames and you get in the larger time frames. And I do like using the combo of the two. And that's where the small time frames can come in because then you can see these old resistance areas that become new support. It happened multiple times a day. We had it here earlier on. Old resistance, new support at 7. Then we had old resistance right here. Not only high of day there early on right at 8, but then right there. And then boom, we bounced right on top of it. So you're getting that staircasing move on the way up today for Turb. Absolutely in love with that. Apple, if you're in this short with me, let's take this down into the 238 mark, a little bit lower possibly, somewhere in the 237s right here. So right around 237.90 would be your major profit taking here for Apple. Been talking about this over the past hour, alerting that over in the live stream for you guys too as well, in the chat for you guys to take. Easy peasy kind of look to it, and it really helps when you get the SPY to get cracking down. That's where it kind of came from. I saw everything was red for the day. Then I come over here to the SPY and see that it's in this bear flag potential to come down some more. That's thus then going to help my Apple trade as it just kind of cracks on down. So that play's working out pretty nicely. But other than that, really just sit back, kick back, and watch. Turb's going to be the next entry possibly for me under that 13 mark for the short on down.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stab an entry on it around this 15. and probably take it off. If it starts climbing up to like over 16, I'll take it off. But if it's looking good, weak, heavy, fading, I'll size it a little bit there. I want to see what she's going to do up here, and ideally don't really want it back heading towards that 1650, 17 area. Adrian BBAI, I saw that one earlier. It became the toy of the day.
Yeah, BBAI is like a multi-day, just doesn't ever give up. BBAI, just traders keep kind of going back over to BBAI, nonstop. It's a little slow and steady.
Yeah, that's nonstop. Wow. I mean, that one's an interesting name because it actually did look fairly heavy. So probably it's getting this move off of shorts, covering up.
Yeah.
It had a little symmetrical triangle and then ended up, crashing under that and under VWAP, staying heavy. You see this. They do this all the time. I'll pull up the chart here.
Chow going back on up. I could see Chow with his new IPO play. I could see Chow making some moves later today. So keep your eye on Chow for sure. That play could really get rocking.
Yeah, BBAI, this Adrian, this like little symmetrical triangle. It's almost, the symmetricals are 50-50-ish. It's when the lower highs and higher lows squeezed, and then it cracks. It stays heavy under VWAP. It looks good. It rejects off of it, and then it just shoots up on volume. So certainly some shorts there that started covering. That's why we saw that squeeze that we have been. TOPP still halted down. TURB, sitting around 15 right now. We'll see if that one is going to be heavy, popping up towards the highs there. Let's flip through some more. FGI, we have about 14 resistance on this name. FGI, this is... I didn't see any news on FGI. Let me know if you guys did, but the past chart history didn't indicate either that, this thing can make a move like this, but we're certainly at some resistance areas. So just be mindful with FGI, and of course, a lot of pre-market resistance overhead. I think Josh and I were both looking at this 14 area from, what is support becomes resistance once we crack under it. There's just a lot of levels around that 14.
That it is, my friend. That it is. And yeah, going back to that nuke play, gosh darn almighty, how many shorts it had right at that line of resistance up top today and yesterday and after hours was perfect.
Yeah, very regretful I didn't take that right there, the 666. I mean, that's always a bearish number, right?
Yeah.
You gotta take the short there, 666. Yeah, ended up being a great play. And check as well. Yeah, and OP2. You working Apple right now still?
Yeah, just in Apple. It's always a slow mover for Apple, especially when you get to this. I always call it pre-lunch. An hour. Well, I guess lunch is notoriously kind of known as noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. And onward. I guess that's kind of where it seems like a lot of trading slows down. But I always call this pre-lunch. You kind of get that slowdown a little ahead of time as you start to see the volume die off. But still decent play there from Apple, and I'm still perturbed that I didn't take a turb bounce because my blue lines that I put in while it was at high of day, and I kind of showed you guys like, hey, 1450, that's a bounce. And I said the safer area is right around 13. And it bounced right at the blue lines that I have in. Say put your lines in and trade them. I'm like, they've bounced right at my lines of support perfectly on the dot. I'm just, it's just too high up for me to want to take a trade at this point. But that's why I love going back. Let's see if it bounces here. And it does twice. And then same thing here. I'm like, I like the bottom of the channel. Let's see if it bounces there. And it holds up as a great support channel there. And we're starting to kind of get this we had the first downtrend, and now we're forming yet another downtrend, as you can see right there. So that would be where my downtrend line is. We get back over 16, which you can see here's quite a bit of resistance since we've been back below it. We've only been above it once and couldn't hold it for very long. So back above 16 is going to be the key here, right around 15.85, 16. That is going to be the key for that move back on up. And again, this is probably going to light that fire for small caps. So I had, been talking about this since last Wednesday into Thursday as we're slowing down. We'll have another gaslighting type of moment where we had the huge run last Monday, Tuesday. Let's say if it was a 1 to 10, it was a 10. Well, watch for about a 7 or 8. Maybe only a 6, but we're going to get another big spike coming up here soon.
FGI very heavy off of that push. That's where all the volume came into that name too. Back to red on the day, FGI.
Yeah, she's floating back and forth, kind of float with that open area price, and I'm still sitting on Turb. No, I did call it Turd for once. Turb.
You have an entry there, or you're just waiting for?
Just waiting. I'm going to get this back under 13 for the short. Just sitting here safe on Turb. So under 13, just wait for this backside, bottom side move.
Yeah.
Patience there on that one. Did you get in at 15?
Yeah, I threw just a feeler out. I'm 25 at 1434. If we get confirmation, like what you're suggesting, we start hammering down. I'm gonna hit it again. I want it to reject all that sideways consolidation from 16, 17 ish.
Stop loss for Apple because Spy is getting a little pop back on up right here from low of day. Which again, you get this kind of like I talk about this area and you're in lows, you do get this sometimes pre lunch chop. And what you're doing is you're just coming off of yesterday's major support areas. So I'm not surprised here we're getting a bounce, but Apple stop loss for me just so I take some profit and don't leave it red. If it gets back over my support line there at the 38, 90, 39, I'll cut this play once it gets back over that 9 EMA.
Top is still halted down.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that on my other screen over here. I'm like, geez, that play's been halted for a minute. But that's what happens with these kind of random. That's why I said be careful. You'll get in some and you get the short. That's usually what you want to be looking for. But yeah, it's got to be careful with these plays that pop out of nowhere. Chow hitting new high of day. So CHOW, Chow hitting new high of day. So Chow.
Oh, man, that one looked from done to run.
Yeah, that's why I said I would not be surprised these new IPO plays because they really don't have any past history behind them. You can really start taking off and going out of nowhere, especially when you have the move from last week that we had, or the moves from last week. Then you get Turb today, kind of getting that lighter fluid back on the fire, so to speak. And earlier, I know because people they're asking about the halt, and I still don't trade them. So what exactly earlier with the Bree? What was it? You have to wait like a minute, or you have to wait 60 seconds to get in. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe the rule after a halt. Yeah, you got to wait 60 seconds. Yeah, after the halt.
That's where these plays kind of then become hard to trade because they're halting so much. I just can't. You can't. I mean, on Thinkorswim it's different. You can possibly get a trade in on them, but on Trade the Pool, you get these halts. It just becomes untradeable because you got to wait for 60 seconds after it comes live to even get in the play.
Yeah, Turb slowly stair stepping now, back up towards a lot of this resistance.
Chow did
over 16 now. Back over 16 now.
But just for other traders that maybe are newer, or for traders that are newer, I just want to go through. It can't stress enough just the difference in stock market changes that we see. Now, again, it's not like they're all the time, but we went through a period earlier this year and last year where what we're seeing now wasn't happening. There were bounce plays, but they're not as prolific as they are now. We weren't seeing these crazy moves that we're seeing now. The halting, reversal at high of day, shorting at high of day, that kind of movement. This is a different market than we had a little over a year ago, especially all of 24 and before that. So we go through this shift that to me now is really apparent that you can see where we're at. And so you're not forming, in my opinion, a lot of good, solid consolidation areas. You're not seeing plays sit to the right a lot of the time. At least the first day runners, as kind of we like to label them, like Turb. You're getting more staircasing. You're getting more spikes. You're getting less trends developed and more erratic, sharper, volatile movements. So if you're seeing that and it's halty and it's harder to trade, no, you're not the only one seeing that, and it's like that across the board right now.
Absolutely. Not a bad idea to size down too.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yep, and I've done that. And exactly that's what I've done, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing really today too. I mean, OPEN, this one's at lows now too, guys, on the day. It's really a great even swing. It's just heavy. I know there's going to be guys on both sides of this, like Money Mitch said. But just have your stops in place. On the short side, I like the heaviness under VWAP. It's just profit taking, OPEN. So it's one I'm still monitoring. Turb, I took it off for now. and going to revisit that one. And then outside of that, just really kicking back and letting the trades come our way. We don't want to force our will in the market. We want to allow the trades to come to us, not force trades. Not force the turbs. You want to let the turb.
You don't want hemorrhoids. You don't want hemorrhoids.
Man, there were a few good trades today, man. I just was a little too hesitant today to get involved with them. Glue was great. GLUE. What you get involved with over there?
I got stopped out of the Apple trade. Pop it up, getting that little lunch pop there. And Apple is like what Mitch talked about earlier. You know, that's definitely the day where you have kind of read across the board recently. That black sheep that is Apple does stay bullish. So I got a little profit there as it was cracking back down to the VWAP and started taking some low 38 mark. But as soon as I took profit, it's like I started talking good about it. That's what happens. Like, oh yeah, it's working out for me. Yeah, and then it pops right back up. That's why I usually don't like to do the announcer's jinx. Of course, being in sports before this and then watching sports my whole career, I usually don't like talking about a trade while I'm in a trade because that's what happens. Oh, yeah, my trade's going good. Yeah, look at it. Oh, never mind. Shouldn't have said that. Whoops. Opposite direction now.
I know. You got to reverse psychologize it, say.
Yeah. Yeah. Still not bad. Good little trade there. Got some profit on the way down. Good crack below support through the VWAP and my major support.
FGI, guys, that one, big lower wick and then popping off of that, but it has been heavy off of that move. Could monitor an entry there. Chow still halted up.
Top halted down still. Like, geez. The market maker's keeping that one halted for almost 20 minutes now. I'm thinking that's going to be a pretty nasty gap down, and traders definitely move away from that one.
See our traders looking at Turb for a retest of the high a day, maybe like a double top there to get involved with a short. I mean, I certainly still like this one too. It's okay to be wrong, guys. It's not okay to stay wrong. That's the differentiating factor for the account. You know, Turb hitting that 16. Let's see what she's going to do there. It's just it's at a range where there's a lot of should be some resistance there.
And again, that's kind of your what you have a play move so big like Turb did. You have a couple of options there. So short up top, that's a good option there if you want that 1975, $20 area, or just sit here and wait for the backside bottom move. So you can sit here and wait. It's either way you're doing that right now. There's really not been a great setup for TURB as far as to me over the last hour plus, besides bounce plays. You've had some decent setup, I guess, but to me, just old resistance becoming new support. So you're getting a couple of bounce plays there. And since this bounce play, you've had this overall trend forming, getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Right here, you see this downtrend. It's getting tight. And overall, you go in here and put your support line in somewhere right around there. I don't know, wherever you want to throw that in. You can see that it's been really, really overall in the downtrend that we finally broke out of. But this is why I don't like downtrend breaks. Sometimes they work, and then sometimes it's lackluster where you break and you don't really go too much. And it's just all about timing, in my opinion, and volume size. Again, there's not volume here compared to earlier in the day, right? And then you're up 300, 400, now 500% on the day. Downtrend breaks aren't going to be probably working nearly as well as they would have earlier in the day with more volume and a play that wasn't up already 500%.
Yeah, Adrian looking at Sophie. That's been the daily there. We see pretty steep trend. It has been stair stepping, but steep trend, and today very heavy down a decent percentage on the day, and looking to add more on that one you're looking at. But yeah, that's been a good play today. Stair stepping down on the short side, cracking under the previous close, headed back down towards that trend, which could be just a profit target area as well.
Beautiful. How many times do you think Adrian? Yo, Adrian! How many times, Adrian, in your life have you had that yelled to you or said to you?
Here's what I'm looking at for FGI. About 11, like back over 11. That's kind of the risk out on the short side, FGI. If I'm taking a look at this one, we had the lower wick down towards 10. It could try to hold that 10 at this point. This 12 was very heavy. That's where all the volume was. We see the volume chart. Volume's very, very key. Volume's a variable I like to look at for the stars to align on these tickers. And so where did all the volume come in at? I think CR Trader pointed this out with Wilds last week too. I thought that was an impressive point. I mean, where is all the volume in on this name? Where did it come in at? So if all this volume just came in and the longs are in this, right here, 11, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, up to 12, that's where they all are. That's where we could see some resistance. So I'm monitoring FGI for maybe a short against these around 12. Could scale that. It's red on the day right now. The open's right around 1074. So looking for FGI to stay heavy there.
We got FGI and BGI today on the stock market. BGI was up earlier on, if you do remember, in after hours and pre-market. Didn't do anything in market today, but BGI was also up on the day earlier. Pretty much didn't do jack squat. Always notice how weird that is. You'll have ABI and DBI running, or it's like two A plays. They both start with A, or they both end with the same letters. Like GI. It's like, how does that happen? Like, I'm just like, it's so weird when you see that. Doesn't happen all the time, but just kind of just goofy things. As stock traders that stick around long enough, I see that and I'm like, it's funny. BGI, FGI, and then like next week it'll be, CBT and ABT. And I'm like, what? How they both have the same letters? Is so weird.
Yeah, I mean, why? Just do what the chart's saying. I mean, I agree, Adrian. It's been very bullish. The trends. I mean, there's another ticker that reminds me of that. I think it was like BE. BE has such an uptrend to it. Yeah, yeah. Look at this BE chart. I mean, BE just stair-stepping up and up and up and up.
That's a big.
But you get these over-convicted shorts that just keep squeezing this thing out. It's like, man, just trade the chart, trade the price action.
Well, that's why we have stop losses. Back to Apple, boy, oh boy. And like you were saying earlier, I forgot exactly how you worded it, but about, essentially knowing to hold and knowing to fold them was what you said, but it was in a different term about holding.
It's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong.
Yeah. I could stay wrong right there. And boy, I'd really be down on Apple, and went from what was a winning play to now it'd be down, however much. But yeah, exactly. it's why you have to have a stop loss.
That's what we do so often, Adrian. We just look, but we never get involved. That's what. Yeah, some days are like that. You turn into an analyst more than a trader. I do it all the time. I'm like, man, I get so hesitant, to get involved in certain trades because I'm like waiting for the perfect entry. That's why I like to throw feelers, Josh. I don't know if you're the same way, but because sometimes you just wait for that perfect entry, then it never comes by. So let me just get something out there. Feeler is meant to feel the trade, and that way you're in it. You can size into it. Green or red. Katz went over that in his interview in Dubai. It's scale. The power of scaling is just crucial. Being able to work either sizing in to a certain point with a certain predefined risk. Let's say you risk $100. Well, you can size to that $100. But then if it is working, and you can size in it that way as well. The power of scaling, very important.
Yes,
it's different than adding. It's different than adding. Scaling's different. Important difference there.
That's what I did to Apple earlier for sure. It was a nice little move there on the way down. Just kind of scaling into that, for the move in, and then once I was happy with my average, and let it run, and then take some profit as it goes down, and then have a set defined stop loss where you can go out, with the remaining shares that you have even. And Chow. Chow halted up, and there's that gap down that I knew would come from TOPP top with a big old gap down right there. And again, when you got to play halted for 20 plus minutes like that, you get to 20, 25, 30 minute corridor of being halted. Usually, generally, you're going, and if it's halted down, especially, you'll get a really big gap down, really big, really big. So just always remember that if you get 20 plus minutes into a trade, and especially you get to the 30-minute marker, a big gap down is 100% coming in soon. Sitting back and waiting on Turb, not going to put any feelers. I'm not going to feel this baby girl until Turb decides to crack and turd its way down below 13. So that's when I'll flush this girl down the toilet right through this area. And just watching with popcorn until then. It's been a nice, good channel play out to the right here over the last, hour now, where we have this 1320 base, right around 1730 tops. And we're just channeling out. So I just sit and just, like you're on the couch, just channeling out, watching different, watching the TV, so to speak. Get your popcorn, get your chips, or get you be healthy, get you an apple, get you a banana.
I was about to say, you all carbs here. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
get you a beer, or hell, get your wife to get you a beer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ask where all the couch money went to.
Make sure it's in the oven too. I don't like microwave hot pockets.
Oh gosh, yeah. You get them too soft. I want that crispy crunch.
All right, FGI working great, guys. I did get a position on that. Oh, are we halting down? Oh, close. All right, FGI. Good. We went over the analysis there. It's working out well on FGI and kicking back there. Again, this was CR Trader. This was pretty much you right here going over that volume. That volume lesson you went over was excellent. Loved it. FGI, if we're on the 5-minute chart right now, look where all the volume came in at. And then it pulled back off of that. That's where they're stuck. So that was the whole idea there. Thank you, CR Trader. I'll throw a check in the mail for you.
There you go. Yeah, it's one thing I may start looking at too is that, and I was saying if it went higher, I'd probably go for the short, and it still worked out here. But when you get that 20, 30, 40-minute halt, like we did on top, and we open up and we get that big gap down, there's usually obviously because you get a big gap down, sell. So you get traders just selling it, and now you get more of a turn down. Would have been a good short there. So right when it opened up, got in for the move back on down because, that was I've noticed that. You get the 20, 30-minute halt, you get a big gap down, traders get scared, and they just immediately sell all the shares off.
Yeah, it's psychology. I mean, that's a psychology play, right? Right. You're not getting the best entry that you want, but you just know where where they're stuck.
Right.
You know where they're stuck on the selling pressure. FGI, let's freaking go, man. Down to the 970s.
It's kind of like almost like you're like Nelson. His name was Nelson, right? And Simpson, that kid that always go, ha, right? Wasn't that the asshole kid? Yeah, that's you. You know where they're stuck at. So you're going, ha.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to. You gotta understand those things. It's not like you're wanting to expose. I mean, traders' flaws and whatnot, but that's what trading is. You know where people are stuck, and you take the other side of it. That's how you avoid being a part of the 90%. Man, FGI guys, anybody else working this thing with me? This thing is snapping, dude. FGI snapping down to the low 940s. Let's see 8.
Yeah, I think all you got left is about 9. I'd say somewhere right around this 930, 40 mark or so. If it cracks through 930, 40, she's going to head down to that 8 mark. Nice, good reversal right there. I'm looking for the same thing on Turb coming up here soon, hopefully.
Yeah, decent pop there. Back up towards 10. I'm considering leaning into it. But we did just flush fairly hard there, so...
Speaking of flushing, I'm surprised SPY has just set out there on this low of day channels. Bounce play from you.
Somewhere else with that.
Just sitting there.
Speaking of flushing, what's the Turb doing?
Just sitting there. Just won't. That's another one in there. Just sitting there at the back on my 1450 kind of blue line there. Back on the downtrend too, which I've noticed you'll see that a lot of the time when you break the downtrend that we formed, and now we're trying to rest on top of it. But that's about it. Sitting here waiting for Chow, see if Chow can get that squeeze and next leg up. And that's what I said earlier. I would not be surprised if we look back in an hour from now and Chow's in the 20s or it's made its way into the 20s. But that spread, as big as it is, it can fly. And here it is. It's now live. There we are, finally live, 1870. So
swinging to you.
Looking to go live, I should say, looking to go halt up here again. So looking to halt up here. As soon as it went live, we're halting right on up here at 1870. And here you go here in 3, 2, 1. Ah, he's down for the count. Halt it up. It's Chow. Halt it again. And these traders in here trying to sneak in these last shares, I think is all. It's risky biscuits. I get it with some trades, but boy, oh, that thing can easily gap down and just kill over any minute. But again, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to go, and that's what traders are wanting, that sympathy and that breakout. We've had this since last week. Any trade that starts popping up, traders want it to go. They want it to go. Most new traders that start this are long. They want to break out. They want to see the thing go to the moon, right?
Put your space boots on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have that with a lot of new traders that want to what? Oh, this is it. This is I'm going to short it. This is it. I'm going to short it. Okay, this. And so you get that combo of new traders wanting the moon, Then you
That's
get
me.
the other half of those new traders thinking they're going to guess the top somehow, and that
Yeah,
just reeks of squeeze, 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 short, squeeze, short.
it's it's an avoid for me just simply because it's an IPO. I really don't trade the IPOs
Oh yeah,
because it's just I don't have a positive EV in my opinion. I don't have the expected value there. It's I mean, I know Mitch said everything's gambling, but it's more of a gamble, right? Chow's more of a gamble for me, as far as that goes.
yep. Yeah, you want to try to put the house card. Have you want to be the house, right? So you want to at least the best as you can. You want to have said cards and essentially on your own discrepancy upon how you trade day in day out, if you can,
Yeah.
right? Not I'll take whatever. That is truly going to the Vegas, and you don't.
Yeah.
If you take your time and do some due diligence, you could put yourself in a little bit better set of hands versus you just don't know what you're going to get. And so that's where if you can do that, and like you're saying, you have some EV expected value, blah, 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 blah. You can go back, you have some chart to trade. Now you have something to work with to put yourself in a little bit better situation than just taking whatever set of cards. That would be just like, I'm getting in term now. You're just getting in, hoping it goes up. You have no,
exactly.
You're just randomly getting in the play.
This is a bargain price right here.
Yeah. Hey, I get that all the time. You'll have plays that, let's just say, for instance, like yesterday, and I'll put up like HSDT, right? So we'll just go look at HSDT yesterday.
Oh,
Traders that this play spikes up and comes all the way back down, and then they're either in long or they're looking for some bounce play down here. And I'm like, yo, what are we looking for? No offense, but this plays, but that's what traders want. They go, oh, this is a cheap, this is a bargain price. It was at 50. Now we're back to 15. Like that doesn't, but that's just that psychology of where traders go to. And that, unfortunately, is not a good psychology to have. And then you build in those bad habits early on of expecting, and then going back to that expected value of what to expect. And so that's where I train my brain into going. I've said this since last Wednesday. I said it in my weekly preview Monday. I said it yesterday. I said, hey, we will see another spike. We're going to get that second round since we had it last week. Why I expected? I've seen this before. I've been here before. I've seen charts day in, day out for years on end. So now I know we're going to get a turb at some point because we had QMs and CW, whatever, or CWD and Octo Orbs or whatever you want to call it now last week. So I know had a huge week last week, slows down, then boom, you'll have another big play. You don't know where it's going to come from, but then boom, we get it. But that all comes from just past chart history. And then again, back to you said that expected value, we know what to expect. Why? Because we've watched these plays over and over and over, year in, year out. And yeah, back to IPO plays. It's fun to watch them, but it's 100%. And it has been. I remember the very first, back in the day in the chat room, I used to be in forever ago, and we watched Snapchat when it first came out. Snap, of course, Snapchat.
That's the one that came to mind for me too. Yeah, that's an AP.
And that one of the first ones, and I just was sitting there just, all right, I'm not trading this, but this is cool.
Yeah.
Back to those carbs.
Yeah. Day drinking with the snap.
Right.
Yeah. Good job, James, on the FGI turb. I'm kicking back, with FGI. Just kicking back there right now and kind of watching. Today so far been a fairly break-even-ish day, but I'm trying to manage it well. Missed a couple plays, but yeah, the FGI I'm going to try to keep working that one, and then of course Turb, that one's still holding up. We're going to monitor that and Chow out of the open. Chow.
Yeah, waiting for that. Waiting for Chow. Fun to watch. And for myself, too, which it may happen in 10 minutes, could happen in 40 minutes, could happen in 50 minutes, could happen in an hour and 50 minutes, which would be cracking back under this 13 mark and just getting this bottom territory. It kind of reminds me of what you're getting on FGI. You're getting that, this is more of a pop-up, but at some point, if we do, and we may not get it on Turb, this may squeeze and go, but I know if we crack this support area, we have room to run back on down. And so it kind of reminds me of that. It'll be slow and steady, but it kind of your trade on FGI that you're in. You're not, you don't have this, this is going to crack all the way back down into the sixes. Watch it. No, it's just let me get, to me, I always call it, you're just trying to get a piece of the pie. Kind of like the feelers. You were talking about that earlier. Just get a piece of the pie. You're not trying to get the whole damn thing.
You remember Nos with the QMMM? I mean, he killed it. His bot got an entry, and then I remember him posting something along the lines of, just take your edge, and sometimes you get extra lucky. That's essentially it. So take your edge when it presents itself. Otherwise, you're never going to reap the favorable outcome of the trade. If you just sit here and like today, I've been a little hesitant becoming an analyst versus a trader, then you're never putting yourself into the risk to reap the favorable outcome. So that QMM trade that Nas had, he made way more than typical on that trade. And that's going to happen sometimes, right? You want to be flexible on the profit side of things. You got to be very rigid with the rules, flexible with the profit expectations. So you know exactly what the risk is, James. Like for your turb trade, you're asking about another ad. I would eliminate ad from the vocabulary. Let's is this part of the plan to scale? If it is, and you're still sticking to your initial predefined risk, then yeah, absolutely,
Right.
predetermine those levels and make sure you stick to that risk. But some trades, Josh, I mean, they're going to run more than we expect, and we need to allow some of those to do that so we can benefit from it. That's where you get more of that positive EV. I call it leftovers. So if you have, let's say on Turbo, this is up towards 17 now. So let's say you were long Turb this morning at 7 and you took it all off at like 9. You took 2 points off. I mean, you're clearly you missed out on another 8 points. But if you take like 70 off and leave 30, just a little piece to play with and run, that 30 alone just made you $300. So I think it's important for traders, to let a piece, just ignore it. A piece of it. A piece of it, ignore it. Yeah. Piece of the pie, just ignore it. And
you got to think about the bounce play again. That 8 that I talked about and alerted, you don't think you're going to get 1975 from 8, but
Right.
that's what we're talking about. Okay, if we can get back up into here, I'm going to take most of my profit, and that's a good $1.50 bounce. But let's leave a little runner, because if we have such a good entry at 8, we never see our entry again. As you can tell, never see it again. If you leave a little piece of that pie, and I mean, it doesn't take too much long. You get filled here at 58, 59 after. You're talking less than 10 minutes later, you're up $4, $5, $6. And yeah, that remaining share size just went. You thought you wouldn't make much from it. Oh, you just made some good. You just got some. You got steakhouse money. You went from Taco Bell money to steakhouse money.
James B. Taco Bell. Hey, Taco Bell has a good steak. They got good steak burritos.
It's good. I'll eat it.
James, be safe here. Know your risk here. But Josh is absolutely right, guys. The beauty for me with this, Josh, is like I know I'm green and I can adjust my stop on leftovers to break even. So regardless, it's like you're green or greener. That's exactly. That's the beauty of it. Green or greener. Trading's supposed to be boring. Yeah, Tack, absolutely. Yeah, completely right. Boring is oftentimes profitable. These dopamine rushes like the Turb are really what can kill accounts.
Yeah, and I was just actually typing that out for traders in chat here. Got that W shape here, which I like to look for in charts here when you start to see it. And usually it's a break of a downtrend that starts the first W, and then you get the second half of the W. Careful short on top. I know CR Trader loves those double tops. Not a bad opportunity here if you are looking for the short, like Kevin was saying earlier in this market conditions, A, and then B, when you are trying to go for a short at a play that's up 7 or whatever, 600% on the day. Go smaller share size. Don't go in big, because this is what can happen. If you go in, you get filled. The next thing you know, it squeezes through your entry, and now you're down. Because it's hitting new high of day because it's up 600%. It's a beast mover here. So if you are trying to stab here at the top, not me. Yeah. I'm not one to do that. But please make sure to go small.
Yeah, Chow, if you guys look, is halted down. FGI, again, Tack, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is kind of turned into my boring play. I'm just kicking back here. 75 shares.
Boy, look at that reversal real quickly on Turb. Go back to Turb.
This may be an entry. Hang on. This might be an entry. Let me think. Okay, elevator down off of that. 20. We double top there. CR Trader nailed that. That's a defining moment here. So let me take a closer look.
Sorry, having to tell my kids that hey, if I would have had orders set in, that was a great bounce play. Right back down, because I love those death candles. They're very scary, I know, but boy, I love that.
Here. I'm gonna get involved small, but this pop right here after that elevator down, I'm getting involved with setting a stop small again. I'll give it back up towards like up towards 1850-ish.
You're going short.
Yeah, I do. I do like to short plays after they elevator down and pop up, because now we got long stuck. I mean, that's, like I said, that's a defining moment there where you elevator down 4 points off of the fake out breakout. Right, the fake out breakout, guys, is a real thing with these plays that are up many hundreds of percent. I mean, it's absolutely a real thing, and now you see it. I mean, I could even size in here. We may halt down TURB.
Yeah, kind of beautiful. I mean, it's just, this is what we talk about, though, the risk versus reward there. Went from very risky, new high of day 2045, could have easily squeezed up, 22, 23 out of nowhere. Then you get the massive reversal, and that's the reward that comes from shorting at the high of day, the flushes that come with it.
I'm thinking. I'm in deep thought right now. Because, today I've been trying to let plays like have continuation, and they've all nearly curled back around. I could have been up decent today, but everything's been curling around on me. I didn't take much off, but Turb is up a lot, and we just elevated down, rejected that. Guys, like, man, Josh, you remember when we first got into trading, and it's like, buy the breakout, and this, dude, in my book Among the 10%, I talk about these breakouts actually being bearish. When you're up 1,000%, you got to look at breakouts a little different.
Right.
When you're up so much, because it's essentially less of like a bull flag that's up 1,000%, actually is more like a bear flag, just because if you're up so much, and that's the liquidity area. We've talked with Mitch and Michael on this a lot. There's a lot of truth behind this. This is the liquidity area. This is where they want you to buy it. This is where the shares are getting dumped, at that break.
FGI coming on down for you some more at that key area at 930, 925. I'm telling you, if it cracks through that, she's going to head back down into the 8s for you, buddy. So that's looking real good right there. And attack. Hey doggies. I got a few of them. They keep going in and out of the office. I'm without the wife this week. She went and visited her parents. So I am all by myself. And when it's all me, it's usually really good. But this is what happens sometimes when you're streaming, and then they want to go in and out of the office because they're getting a little bored because I've been talking for the last however many hours and they want some attention. Again, though, right off of my support line at 1450, perfect bounce.
What are you thinking? I mean, what are you thinking as far as your entry goes? Are you still waiting for 13?
Yeah, I'm just going to be safe and just wait for it. I like to see when I have my lines in and they're just working out perfectly over and over and over. So it kind of builds my confidence in knowing that I'm looking at the right areas, and I'm going to get in at the right area. I love that shorted high of day. I mean, that's what you want to see, but I just don't, just don't have the risky biscuits. I just can't trade that, a lot of the time. I don't mind slower double tops, and I've said that recently. Like, I like shorting double top, but not one that's up 500, 600, 700%. So that was a great move. And as far as is concerned for a short for me, I'm just waiting for this backside move. I do see how gorgeous my bounce play is working at 1450 yet again. And so, but I see what you're talking about, that elevator down. Yeah, a lot of the time what happens, you get that.
It's going to get stuffed. It gets stuffed again and again, just because that's where the traders are now. That's where the volume is. Again, see, our trader pointed that out. That's where that huge volume spike just came in. Oh, yeah.
Right off that 925, 930 mark yet again for FGI. So FGI just keeps battling this area and this support line. And I'm just getting this from earlier in the day. We'll go back to a 3-minute to make it a little bit more apparent. But right here is where I'm getting that from. So earlier in the day, holding up this 940, 930 mark right through here. And you can see yet again, we're just holding that same support area. If we crack it, we will find that move back down into the 8s for you guys that are short here. Hey, good job, CR Trader, getting the top there. Yeah. You just have to put the orders in up top. Orders in up top. Just sit there and wait. Have patience.
Excellent demonstration of patience. I mean, calling for it, not getting involved early.
That's what we do, brother. That's what we do.
Yeah. Just kicking back FGI and Turb right now. Turb, I like Turb. After that elevator down, and she's heavy now under like that 16, 15, 17. The overcrowded names though, like this, I tend to try to not go crazy heavy on, just because they're less predictable. But it is tempting. I really do see it getting stuffed on a pop there. For it to reclaim 20 after that, it's going to be that's a steep hill to climb to reclaim 20 again after that.
Here's SPY coming down more as well. My Apple trade. I had a feeling. I bet, and it probably does. It's one of those trades where you get out of Apple. Unfortunately, you have to. You got to have a stop. You don't want to lose. But then you look back later and you have this play that comes back down and gets right to this is probably coming right to my targets from earlier, which is 238 and I hear below it. You just let it go. I don't want to double dip. We talked about this before on these live streams. I'm not double dipping the chip. Ain't happening. Let it go. Wait for the next setup, the next trade, which to me is going to be this turb short down to the bottom side. If we get it, if we don't, then I don't. I just wait and move on to tomorrow because tomorrow holds a whole new day. Tomorrow's, as we call each day, and as we are in the present, because it is that, wake up, I'm in the present, enjoy it, and try to find something. If it's not there, then I don't take it and I move on to the next day. Do not be surprised. I know we're getting a little close, and I'll talk about this again in the next 10 minutes before we wind down. Watch for another spike today. We've seen it multiple times throughout here, the pre-lunch area, Chow, Top, whatever the other one. I know it seemed like we've seen 3 spike up here. Do not be surprised before the end of day. If Turb does not crack down below my $13 support area and we do hold these blue lines that I have in and stay up here, you're going to see another sympathy spike, I promise you, before the day's over. So get ready for that. It doesn't have to be a new IPO play. Obviously, it probably won't be. It'll be another random ticker. But keep your eye on that for sure because you're going to get a good long opportunity and, of course, a good short opportunity coming up. Still hanging out with your FGI short?
I am. I'm thinking about it. If it's going to base out, right around that 9 level, 920. Yeah, because it's popping up towards 990 right now. Yeah, I haven't taken any off of there yet. So just kicking back with that and Turb. But like I said today, like some days are like that, man. You look back and you're like, man, I could have taken, decent pieces off all these, but it is what it is. Trying to maximize some of these winners. And Turb certainly has some room down south. So gonna look to size that one too. Turb, I'm gonna hit it again. Like I said, I'm inching the way on this 25K, so not looking for any home runs, just looking for good base hits.
Oh, I remember that sound. The old speakers, the mic stand sound. The mic stand. I still have which is funny. I kept it for whatever reason. I don't know why. I guess maybe down the line I'll go, yeah, Avery makes fun of me. I'm not a hoarder, but I do have like this like keepsake memorabilia, this nostalgia kind of thing. So
You're a hoarder.
Yeah, right. yeah, right, yeah.
Not a hoarder, but let me go. Yeah. I got all these great antiques. I mean,
let me show you this other treasure I got. But I kept my very first mic when I first started doing like YouTube lessons, and then before essentially I was ever streaming. And then when I did first start streaming, I had a little mic stand over here, and it kind of came up like yours. And but yeah, I kept that. I was like, I'm gonna keep this forever. But the point being, it was about a month or two ago. It was in it's right here in my closet. I was going through it. I was like, why do I still have this mic? I'm like, I know I kept it, but bro, like what do we like? Like, what's the point of this? Like, I know it was your first mic ever. Take a picture of it, if anything, and move on from it. It's like, what do we like? Just this is. I'm gonna like show my grandkids one day if we have kids. You see this mic here, Charlie? Yeah. Hey, Charlie, put your toy down. Do you see this?
Should be hanging on your wall.
Yeah,
got
right.
all this stuff behind you. Like, what is all this? This was my first pair of underwear I streamed with. My mic.
This is my first pair of underwear that actually never went poo-poo in. My mom said, look, you finally have a pair you have kept clean for 2 years now.
Oh, yeah. My mom kept,
I do want to get the next house, and it's been like, because I don't have a gun. I'm not a big gun guy. AK-47, I go by, right? And everyone's like, you don't have a gun, or you're not. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where my name came from, really. But at the next house, I am going to get one, and right behind me, I'm going to have an AK-47. I'm going to get a golden one. See, like right behind me, I'm going to have it all, up on the wall. I'll have some, like back here. I'll have a cool background. It'll be cool. But yeah, I'm going to get me a little golden AK-47. So right there, you just see it on the wall. And every time I take a winning trade, I'll go get it off the wall. I go, bah, 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 shoot some rounds off in the house.
Oh, man. YouTube might not like that.
Yeah, right.
Demonetized.
Yeah, immediately. But I haven't thought about changing my name forever ago. When I first started, just randomly, blah, blah, it's AK-47. But I thought about dropping the 47 after all, because, 2017, 18, 19, 20, we like any time. But that time, it seemed like we went through a lot more shootings, that went out in Vegas to anyway. There's a lot of shootings going on. And I was like, maybe I should drop the 47. So I remember going live one day, everyone's like, no, because most people just call me AK anyway. They just go by the first two letters. But yeah, I thought about dropping the 47 because, I was like, I may be scaring a lot of traders. I'm pulling some, back to our redneck, pulling some rednecks in. I'm sure, AK-47, I love this guy. But, I was like, I might be scaring some traders away. I'm like, I swear I have nothing. This has nothing to do with guns.
It's just part of your brand now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it
guns and beer and trading. No.
Yeah, boy. That would be some hella crazy
content, yeah.
Social media. Yeah, I was the stock trader AK-40. And I'm out there with Kid Rock shooting guns off and shooting 30 packs of beer and whatever. Well, anyway, yeah. Hey, I'm just not big into social media. I mean, it takes time to do all that stuff. We had an awesome Jeep. We did stuff to it, and I'm going to make an account, whatever, on Instagram, and I'm like, let's do this. Let's do the social media thing. It's so much work. It's absolutely a whole nother job, essentially in the end, if you're going to do social media.
Yeah, I mean, but that's why, Trade the Pull, they got arms everywhere. They got people doing every kind of thing. So it works out. We can focus the trading. They got their social media team. FGI kicking back with still Turb. How it's still holding up without another elevator down is beyond me. But yeah, Turb, I still am interested here. Still am interested against that 20.
Turb, I'm waiting. Just patience, kind of like CR Trader. He waited for his trade for, I don't know, I'm guesstimating at least 30 minutes, maybe even an hour, for that short up top, however long it was. Could have been over an hour, depending on when he was eyeing that out. But kind of like what Tax said earlier, stock trading is supposed to be boring. I don't know, supposed to be, but it is. I mean, that's why I say, it's kind of like say it's supposed to be as if it's supposed to be. But that's just a point being that is. It's just you're supposed to sit back, wait, have patience, not take a lot of trades in the day. This isn't about how many trades I can get in. Kind of reminds me when I first started working out and going to the gym and actually getting with like real gym rats or guys that worked out. And they were always like, it's always about the reps, it's quality over quantity or quality over quantity, and so I was never really got that. And then it started making sense, especially just practicing that same repetition. It didn't matter how much was on, how many weights you had, but if you just practice that same repetition, the same workout, the right, correct way over and over and over and did quality over quantity. And that just, brain's always kind of been my brain that been that way. And so when I got into stock trading, I just made it simple on myself and just said, listen, it's not about how many trades. And I did that too. Like a lot of traders, I over traded at first and saw that there was no result there. Kind of like you always talk about random trading, random results. And that's what was going on. I wasn't tracking and journaling my system and trying to figure out who I was as a trader. But once you do that and you do it long enough, you start to realize who you are as a trader and what you're good at. And then you just
you're forced to with Trade the Pull. That's why I love it. I look at the stats and I clearly see right in front of me in a mirror, like my flaws. Yeah, and that's why I love and hate about it, right? But you clearly see what's working and what's not working. I love, Trade the Pull for that. You can tell, like I need to work on my reward side of the risk. I can clearly see that. I got to let the winners work. That's why I've been trying to put that into practice today, instead of taking things off early. So, you're confronted exactly with what you need to work on with Trade the Pull. That's what I like about those stats.
Trade the poo. And then you get emails, from your local Porsche dealership. And, you just get teased a little bit and go, oh, yeah, I wouldn't mind a 2026 Turbo 911S, just, I don't have the money for it right now. But, hey, 700. I like this, too. Where does this 1 horsepower come in? They dynoed it. Oh, we got to set. We'll just make it 700 on the dot. 701. I don't. Maybe make it 711 because it's a 911. I don't really get it, but I thought it was funny. 701. Had that. They had to add that extra 1 horsepower in there, baby boy. You know that's going to get those ponies rolling. Yeah, but I like getting those kind of emails, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, they're marketing to you. You must have been looking them up.
Yeah, right.
Getting ready. Going to be a big year for you.
I did drive a GT4. I test drove a GT4, not the 3, but the 4, which is just as sick, but a GT4 RS earlier this year. $250,000 car. It was absolutely amazing. And yeah, they thought I was wanting it. They thought I wanted it. They had it out ready for me to test drive. I didn't think, I just kind of got a hold of them. I was like, yeah, sure. I want to come look at it. It's gorgeous. Sure. I'll come look at it. And then I didn't know if they'd let me test drive it or not. And yeah, when I pull up to the Porsche dealership and it's already sitting out front, like ready for the drive. I'm like, oh my God. And then the first words, like once you get into it, you got to love hearing this. Oh, don't baby it. You get on it. And I'm like, oh, get on it. It only had like 550 miles on it. Yeah, it was fun. It was
my
fun.
insurance covering this.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. Like what happens in the test drive if something goes wrong? Yeah, because I brought my my nice. We have a 392 Jeep Wrangler. It's a really nice vehicle. It's very nice. 392 Wranglers were really sick. But yeah, I was like, man, and I've joked, of course, all my buddies did the same thing. Yeah, like they were eyeing your Jeep Wrangler, and they were going to leave you with a total or whatever happened. Like, all right, so here's your deal. That Porsche is $225K. We'll give you X amount for your Jeep. Here's your payments on your wrecked Porsche. Like, no, it's mine. It's kind of like one of those things when you go into like a liquor store, whatever, like all the like stuff that has glass, antique store, or whatever, and you knock a bottle over and it's glass and it breaks, and you're like, all right, so I guess that's mine now.
Our trader said you're the extra horse.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's the horse that drives. Yeah, that's me. They know me. They know me. I have my X5M competition. I of course got the 392. I love to go fast. And then a few traders in chat at the Dallas AKNR, as I call it, my little get together, my live streaming event, live training event. A few traders got to have a little fun. And yeah, I won't say how fast we went, but we went pretty fast, my man.
Were you breaking the law, sir?
Yeah, right. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, those are nice. That's kind of one of my old school dream car tack out. I love the movie Gone in 60 Seconds, and I would love to get Eleanor. Would love an old 67, 68, 69 Chevelle. That would be nice for sure.
BBAI still at highs. I know some of you have been watching that one.
Yeah, it's that AI play. I'm surprised another AI play like GFAI. That's another one that sometimes will get a little sympathy from the AI plays, but I don't see any other AI play popping today with it.
Chow keeps halting down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not surprising there.
Sit back and waiting on Turb. Honestly, I know kind of now winding down the last few minutes here. TURB is the one I'm waiting for, the final move for the day. We may get that squeeze and next move up, and CR Trader can vouch. Like I said, I'm fine with the double top. Like we talked with Kevin, or I was saying with Kevin, I just usually not a play that's up 700-800%. It's a great short opportunity. The double top is.
Well,
third touch breakout though is my point. Be careful. If you want to go for that third round, I'm just saying be careful. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah, well, when they do double top like that, also there's worry on is it going to halt up, because it did shoot up pretty quick there and then just rejected. Hard rejection. Yeah.
Crazy sell. I mean, how fast that happened was, that was like lightning. But that's, again, the market we're in over the last few weeks. It's got more and more lightning bolt like.
I can't long these things, as much as I would like to long some of these low float plays. I know those elevator downs are right around the corner. And that throws traders in deer in headlights. It just throws you in deer in headlights, so you got to have that stop on. Set the OCO, one cancels the other, so you just hitting that profit or loss and moving along.
Yeah, that's the thing, Tag. A, finding one, and then B, if you do find one, how much it costs. Because I was thinking about building one, but then, you got to find an old shell, essentially, and then you got to build that. And it's pricey either way, my friend.
Chow. Is Chow halting up now?
Oh, yeah. Chow. Hey, listen, I am not surprised about this. Like you talked about the new IPO play. It's kind of why we're sitting away from it and getting our carbs over here with popcorn and chips and beer. leave these plays alone. It's halt up, halt down. There's really no rhyme or reason a lot of the time to these new IPO
Yeah,
plays.
just halt to
Just
halt to halt. Yeah.
this TURB play is where you need to stay at. TURB, FGI, BBAI, those are much better trades for you small cap traders. Again, if you want something slow and steady, you don't want risky biscuits, tornado crickets, you're going over to BBAI. If you want something that's got a little bit more volume and movement to it, you're going to FGI. And then if you truly want a nice mover with some volatility, but it's not risky biscuits, tornado crickets, it's TURB. So these would be your four. Super risky, a little less risk, a lot less risk, and hardly any risk at all because it's just so slow. My man.
Yeah, that's good. As we're winding down, guys, any tickers you want us to flip through? Any other tickers you want us to look at? I'm just shocked that TURB is holding right here. I mean, it's just bear flaggish and looks like it just feels like that elevator's about to snap at any point in time right now. But yeah, still waiting on it. Still waiting to see what she's going to end up doing.
Even like your FBI play, that's what that's why I always kind of correlate that to I always call the pre-lunch. You get this where are we going next kind of feel. It's like, well, we should have cracked by now, but we haven't. Or are we going to squeeze all of a sudden out of nowhere and then we can get this big move up? So we both of those plays sort of have that limbo look to them. Are we going to get a big move up, big move down? Because we've been sitting out in this channel sideways really for the better part of now for TURB. After that big pullback, it's been 30 minutes almost, and now FGI, it's almost been a full 45 almost minutes we've been sitting out to the right. So do have some two plays here sitting out to the right, and then BBAI in this beautiful bullish flag at that high of day. Look for that to squeeze the 6 up next. And again, here you go. Chow. Get your dog chow, baby. Tack, thanks for coming today.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tack. Thank you for anyone that came over today. Tack, Jay, Angelo, Ingrid, CR Trader, Aussie Chick Day, oi. Everyone that showed up today, thank you. Earlier, Paula was around. I know TNT, Tim, Jason, everyone that shows up today. Adrian, of course. Adrian! James.
Yep.
Guys,
we appreciate the team, guys. Appreciate you guys. Again, here just a little words of wisdom for you. Most traders, they lose because they demand the market feels predictable. But guys, the best traders, they know the market rewards those who accept uncertainty and still act with clarity. So you just got to understand the uncertainty involved with the market and size accordingly, risk accordingly. It's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. And again, you don't have to be the smartest trader in the world. You just need to be the most disciplined. I know that firsthand. Mr. Josh, I know that firsthand. Yeah, don't have to be the smartest. I've seen the smartest traders. They have a hard time making it because they need the predictability. They need the certainty. But you gotta understand. You gotta, in the face of uncertainty, you gotta trade with clarity and know what your reaction is going to be to the market. All right, traders, that's going to wrap up the show today. Appreciate you guys. Love this team as well. We'll be back, I know, Josh and I, on Thursday, but Trade the Pool is always live every day, tomorrow as well. So, guys, stay safe and disciplined. Embrace the risk. Accept the results. Love trading with you guys. We'll see you next time.